and that as long as it's pure in my mind, right? As long as I'm only talking to people that I'm actually interested in talking to. So there's no one who decides who is on the show but me. There's no executives that have discussions. There's no board meetings. There's nothing. There's nothing. It's my phone, and I just go, that guy seems cool. Like, or what is she talking about? That's nuts. Like, is that real? Oh my god, how did she figure that out? Come on in, and that's the whole way I've always done it. And I feel like as long as I just do it that way, then people are uh, getting a chance to experience it with me
Yes.
because I'm just being me, right? And which is I I personally get great satisfaction out of watching people do things that they enjoy, even if I have no interest in those things. Like if I see a guy who's like making cabinets and he's like really into the polishing and the sanding, you can tell like this guy's work is he's very proud of his work. He makes those seams nice and tight and sands it all down, and I'm watching him polish it. And I'm watching him put the stain on. I'm like, wow, that guy made that with his hands. And he steps back and he's polishing it with a microfiber cloth. And I love that. I love when people are into things. I love when people are fixing engines. I love when someone's really into painting. I love people being into things. So I'm an antenna for people that are really into things.
I think that's exactly what Ibrahim was just describing in that quote. We
Yeah.
are antenna, and we are receiving information all the time. And the reason why it's so exciting to be human is because our antenna has got a broader aperture to receive information than any other creature on Earth so far,
And then never before, as far as we know.
on this planet at least.
Yeah, but the pyramids, I want to go back to that because I don't know if this is the smartest and the most advanced people have ever been. I don't think it is. I really don't. I think the pyramids are the perfect example of why we should question that narrative. We want to put that place into a nice, cute little box, and all due respect to traditional archaeologists, but you really can't. It's not physically possible to put that place that supposedly was made 2500 BC. That's the guess. It's really kind of a guess because there's no
Doesn't carbon date
hieroglyphs.
well that way. Yeah.
There's no hieroglyphs at all about the construction of it. They don't show how they made it. They don't know what the fuck it was. And they don't know why it has so much erosion in certain areas. They don't know why it's been built on. There's other structures that are built on top of older structures that are even more complex. Like, makes no sense. It makes no sense. It just makes no sense. When you're moving enormous statues that are 1,000 tons, how? How'd you do that? How did you get that thing? How'd you move it 400 miles?
Ugh.
What the fuck are you guys doing? You're doing something we can't do right now. As cocky as we want to be, we don't have machines to do that right now. So why would we believe that they were primitive? Why would we believe that they were commensurate with the rest of what we think the world was 4,500 years ago? Because that's crazy. It makes no sense. That alone, just Egypt alone, it's like, what were those people in Africa doing? Because whatever the fuck they were doing, it's above and beyond anything anyone's doing right now.
Yeah.
2,300,000 stones that perfectly align to true north, south, east, and west. How?
Biology.
Biology.
It had to be a living system that would create something that intelligent. The reason why we can't build them today is we keep trying to invent machines to do our work. Biology is what did it, and Ibrahim, sitting there in Cairo, Egypt right now, will tell you the way that they built these things was through waveform and the antenna, and not just for receiving, transmission that created the energy to create the pyramids was coming from bodies, not machines.
But they certainly had some machines because there's these core drills that they find that they don't understand how they could have ever had something that moved at those RPMs to make those kind of circles that's drilling into this insanely hard granite. Like
Fuck.
there's some technology involved.
Water.
Water.
Biology and water together. So biology is ultimately carbon and water. It is a massive energetic potential that survives and concentrates between the magic of carbon and water. I would love to show you a couple slides of where I think we are as humans because you just uncovered the most important reality is let's keep very strong anchor in the fact that human biology, we can call them humans, we can call them Egyptians, we can call them whatever we want, but there was people of our size and our scale that were doing things on the planet very recently, 5, 10,000 years ago. Those Otchwar have been doing their thing in the jungle for 40,000 years. So this is recent history. This isn't some like figment of our imagination. That King Solomon's right, in that time. We have written history just after this time period, but there was an amnesia event. There was something that happened globally where we lost connection. We lost the signal around 5 to 7,000 years ago globally. Peoples all over the earth suddenly got disconnected from their intelligence, and we see this massive event of loss of life or disappearance of life. So you got the Aztecs and Mayans, Incas. You got all these systems that had been thousands of years building incredibly complex underground labyrinths that go for tens of thousands of kilometers, or things that we can't even wrap our heads around right now, was being done all over the world, not just in Cairo, Egypt. The pyramids off the coast of Japan are way bigger than what was going on in
Yo,
Egypt.
yo, yo.
And so we had pyramids all over the freaking planet that were technologies that were concentrating energy. And
Yo.
I'm going to go back to my own lived experience here, so we're not like philosophically getting into any space that starts to sound woo-woo. I want to ground
Too
this
late.
back.
We're woo woo, bro. We're on woo woo Main. We're on Main Street in Woo Wooville. We're running red lights, son.
Let's go. Let's go. That's my favorite thing to do. As long as I'm in
I
the
like it
55
too.
Chevy behind the
I
wheel.
can tell you like running red lights in Woo Wooville. I want to bring you back because you said something, and I have to understand what you were saying. When you said biology and water, so clearly they had tools, right? So clearly they're using a tool to make these cores out of the granite.
So I want to back up. Um, I think we just need to contextualize life, because we get into the risk of like starting to core down on that idea and that idea and that idea,
Uh
and
huh.
we can't find our context. So if we
Fuck.
contextualize this
Damn.
conversation, what life is, then we can get to pyramids, then we can get to UFOs and UAPs and everything else that's going
Uh
on
huh.
right now that's starting to force us to be like, wait, we don't have the whole story. And so this is my favorite thing about being live right now, is there's just too much evidence that the story that we've been taught in schools is
Yes.
correct. It's just it's falling
Yes.
apart now. So
Yeah, it's falling
that's
apart.
exciting. But the reason why we have things rushing into this space as new solutions that are just distracting us from actually stepping into our full potency is because we still are not allowing
Fuck.
context to come back. And so I would love to contextualize the conversation first,
Okay.
and then let's go down these
Yeah.
rabbit
Okay.
holes. If you've got that first slide of mine, we can start at the most fundamental level of understanding what life is. And this took me, 25 years of basic science laboratory work to finally get my mind clear and out of the way to what
What
you
are you
said,
doing?
be the antenna for the information. What is it trying to show us? And ultimately, when you look across these images across this top
There
of
you
the
go.
slide, we've got the sun up top. The sun is the most potent energetic thing that physics does. It's nuclear and fission and fusion, and these things we call stars. And there's roughly 10 billion stars per galaxy. We got somewhere around 2.5 trillion galaxies. So there's a lot of energy being pumped out in the universe by a sun. But that little innovation just to its right at the top is chlorophyll.
Fuck.
And chlorophyll begins a process of concentration of light energy. And so this is where we start to see more light per cubic centimeter than nuclear fission and fusion can produce. They can then pass that information in the form of energy onto bacteria and fungi. Bacteria and fungi then support more green life, and so we go from moss and slime molds to trees eventually. And so there's this constant feedback loop of concentrations of energy. The more energy per cubic centimeter you have, the more opportunity you have for communication. The word biosis again, refers to
Fuck.
interconnected relationships that make life possible. If you've been in a long-term relationship before, like longer than a weekend, you got a sense of how much energy it takes to maintain a relationship. There's nothing you do in life that takes more energy than maintaining a family and your spouse and kids, whatever you got around you. That's because communication is required for co-collaboration, co-creation. And so energy has to be concentrated at higher and higher levels for life to do more and more and more complex things. a couple billion years ago on the planet, we have evidence that bacteria and fungi made their transition. So bacteria, single-celled organisms, suddenly gave an increase in concentration through an innovation of doing fermentation outside of the body. So bacteria ferment carbohydrates and fats. They use a non-oxygen related breakdown process to break carbon bonds. All of that sunlight is being stored in carbon, and so one carbon bonds to the next, storing a photon of electromagnetic energy between them. That's a carbon bond. So when you hear of a carbohydrate, that's a whole string of carbons that's storing sunlight. A fatty acid,
Fuck.
another long string of carbons holding sunlight. So the innovation of life was, can we store enough energy that it can be released in these exponential levels of energy per cubic centimeter? And the more that life innovated that process, the more complex life got. So bacteria, single-celled organisms, can't really collaborate, but they can build an ecosystem of nutrients. Fungi figured out that they could actually get
Come on, bro.
if they exuded the enzymes out of their body to make the whole nature around them the stomach. And so they outsourced the fermentation process to the soil around them, and suddenly there was so much more energy available, so they started to build whole networks of single-celled organisms that were now collaborating. We call these hyphae and pseudohyphae, the mycelial network of the fungal kingdom. They can go for miles, and they're still single-celled organisms, but they're collaborating now because they have much more energy because they're doing all that fermentation outside the body, so they're not limited to what can be done inside the cell. The next innovation that just blew everything out was the innovation of the mitochondria. So that little mitochondria represented up in that glowing cell right above the
Oh
brain.
my god.
Mitochondria are small bacteria that live inside human cells. The average human cell has 200 mitochondria. A neuron has 2,000 mitochondria in its neural head. 2,000 of those little bacteria living inside of a human cell. And that's actually two microbes put into one. So it's a little tiny methane producing bacterium that was swallowed by an archaea, a big bacteria. And they started collaborating in a big innovation that was respiratory energy production. So we suddenly added oxygen and hydrogen to the process that used to be fermentation. So now we have respiratory energy production in the form of mitochondria. And that was a 10x improvement in energy, light energy per cubic centimeter. And then we suddenly got multicellular life. And so it was protozoa into parasites, nematodes, into worms, into everything we have. So life is stacking in complexity with direct relationship of how much energy per cubic centimeter exists there. The energy is predicting the outcome. It's not some organism comes along and says, well, I'm going to take over because I'm smarter and more connected. Every time we've seen an innovation in nature, it's because preceding that moment, there was an innovation in increasing the amount of biosis, the amount of interconnected relationships inside a single organism.
Get a life, kid.
Eventually you get to a human. A human has more life within it than any other niche of nature of this planet. Amazon jungle, coral reefs, any other mammal. The human colon and the body systems around it contain more biodiversity, more interconnected relationships than any other system on the planet. This is more biosis, more life, more energy per cubic centimeter. And what we get to start to recognize now as our neurobiology of the gut starts to work through our levels of understanding, we're starting to realize there is no such thing as human intelligence. There's a human brain that is an antenna for all of nature to speak to. And so we have the most complicated antenna system of any organism on Earth. And just 10 minutes ago, you sat there saying, I think I'm actually an antenna. So this is the process that it takes to create life. And 70 years ago, we started a new era of humanity called the antibiotic era. And it innovated with penicillin in the 1940s. But then it became herbicides and pesticides and took us into a massive journey of destroying biosis. The word antibiotic is truth in advertising. To be antibiosis, to be antibiotic, is to be against, to disrupt, to destroy the interconnected relationships that make life possible. And so if this is right, which I don't expect you to believe yet, but if this is right, I should be able to map to you the exact way in which we've landed at this moment, which is at the crippled point of human biology globally. Chronic disease epidemics, infertility, threatening the very survival of our species. So I'm going to take you through the last 50 years and look at the human race just as a metabolic framework. And we'll see if we can make some sense out of it.
Okay, let's do it. I like it. It is very fascinating that we've gotten to where we are right now and that we know as much as we know. And yet we still are doing things like extensive use of pesticides and herbicides, and even when they're not necessary, like the drying of wheat with it, which is crazy. Like you don't, you're not even using it for its intended purpose. You're using it as a desiccator, so you can dry out the wheat and process it quicker. What the fuck are you doing? And then you're poisoning people unnecessarily because of this.
See, this is why I love being with you, Joe, is because like you say the things that I wish I would be able to say the last 40
That
years.
way,
That's all I really wanted to tell the EPA when I testified in
it's
front of the
fucking
government.
crazy. We're crazy. Well, someone probably should have someone like me do it. I'm not the guy, but someone should say it that way because that's really what it is. Like you're poisoning people. And the really nutty thing is the reason why they didn't do the ban on glyphosate because it would have a devastating impact on our society, on our economy, because all these businesses would close and go under, and they would lose billions and billions of dollars. Think of that. Think of where we are right now, where our food supply relies on poison to function. If we take the poison out, it can't function.
It's
I don't know
crazy.
what to tell you, but there's only one way to do it. We have to poison you.
Yeah, like
That is
fucking,
really wild that
bro. Take
anybody
the
would accept
band-aid
that.
off. Take the band-aid
And you
off,
can
bro.
have
Rip
all
that
the
shit
fucking
off.
lobbyists. Everyone sits in front of those microphones with notes, and they all have some preposterous way of framing it. But that's really what it is.
It's
You're saying
fucking
the food
sickening.
supply relies on poison.
Poison,
And
yeah.
if we
And
take
you're,
away the poison, we'll fall apart.
it's fucking
It's
sick.
actually,
Get the band-aid off, bro.
That's
but
crazy.
let me show you why. Because it's not actually the food system that's about to fall apart, it's the medical system.
Oh.
And so
Yeah,
the
that's what
thing
it
that
is.
relies on keeping
Exactly.
food is not the money
Exactly.
we're making from food system, it's the money we're making from the
Exactly.
medical system,
Well, isn't it both?
Exactly.
isn't it?
It's got to be both. It's got to be
Yeah.
both because
It's all
I
over the
know for
place.
a fact the pesticide manufacturers they work very hard to make sure that the politicians are very happy. And
Biosis, interconnected relationships that make life possible.
yeah,
And so
well,
when,
Bayer owns Monsanto, right?
yeah, so Bayer purchased that recently, and they've been at this for a long, long time. Bayer started to investigate the impact of interconnected relationships on human biology and fertility in the 1940s. We call it World War II and concentration camps, but that's where the studies really started getting set up, was understanding the relationship between microbiome, the output products, amino acids specifically, that support human life.
So Bayer was involved in the concentration camps.
They were bought by a company called Inter
IBM was. No,
Pharmaceuticals in
IBM was.
Germany in the 1930s, and then they got spun back out as Bayer after the war with the collapse of the Third Reich. But and they're hardly alone in this. Companies all over the world at the time were studying these interconnected relationships because there was a lot of progress being made in the 1930s and 40s, all the way back to the 1800s, of understanding that humans are an expression of a complex ecosystem. They're not just this isolated system. And so it was Louis Pasteur who kind of won the argument of nature's against us, germs are attacking us, all of that. So that really kind of doubled down on this belief that nature's opposed to humans and we'd have to survive by sterilizing our environment. So pasteurization is rooted in his name, Louis Pasteur.
Right,
And
right.
so we started pasteurizing with the idea that if there's any life inside of what we're consuming, it could compete with the human life, not
That
realizing.
is one of the nuttiest things that they've passed on society. That they've passed this idea that if you don't homogenize and pasteurize your milk, that you're in danger. And I don't know if you've ever seen some of these gaslighty articles, but some lady, I wish I saved it. Somebody made a great TikTok about it today, or an Instagram reel, where she was explaining relative risk versus actual risk, and how these articles are framed to show you, like, oh my God, this is so dangerous, and that people who drink raw milk are like 860% more likely to get sick. But it's like versus people who drink homogenized milk. Well, how many people get sick off milk? And then you find the actual number, and it's like like 1,300 a year or something like that. I forget what it was. 13,000 a year feel bad because they drank bad milk. And out of those, how many of those were drinking raw milk? Well, it was like more likely that it was raw, but then it's still only a few thousand people.
By the time you find the actual harm, it's down to 6 people, you know.
Exactly, which is like one of those really nutty things that people do. Instead of saying this is what's dangerous about raw milk, don't drink it when it's spoiled. Don't drink it, but also that's yogurt.
That's yogurt.
And you should have yogurt because it's important to have good lactose and all the cultures. The culture is but don't drink raw milk because raw milk you'll die. I've never heard of a fucking single person who drank raw milk.
Who died?
I had a joke about it in my act a long time ago. Like you get if milk takes you out, like my grandfather got sick and he lived to 1,000. That was the joke. It was like milk take you out, you fucking pussy. Like it's not. No one's dying from milk. Shut the fuck up. There's, it happens a lot, and one of the things it is it's runoff from industrialized farms that get into people's vegetables. It's a lot of vegetables, a lot of salads. There's food poisoning from salads, unfortunately.
Yeah, there was an interesting project that was put into motion around, I think it was late teens, when the U.S. government suddenly realized, oh my gosh, terrorists could attack us through salad bars. They could poison these salad bars so easily, and we could just, thousands of people could die. Is that why they put the
sneeze guard up?
Those have been long deployed. That's an ancient technology, the sneeze guard. Ancient technology.
Those things are so ridiculous.
Even the ancient Egyptians used those, I'm pretty sure. But you've got this situation where they went out to see, test what happened if you put salmonella in these things and everything else. And the conclusion of the whole study 2 years later is it'd be impossible to make salad bars any more toxic than they already are. Every pathogen you've ever heard of is already there.
Oh, for sure. As soon as you let a bunch of people touch stuff, and most people use their fingers, they're gross. What is salad? What is the thing that people get food sickness off the most? What's the highest percentage in terms of what kind of food? Yeah, probably be like oysters, right? Like raw oysters or something.
But it's greens. I don't know.
You think it's greens?
See what your
it might be salad.
Shows
but if it is salad, it's not the actual greens itself. It's the toxic shit. It's actual shit that gets on them, and then it's also whatever they're using.
It's the irrigation of the lettuces that are the problem. We create artificial water systems that start to brew these things. But I think, if we back up for a second, we're hitting on something so exciting here, is that if we can understand that life is a concentration of light energy, we can start to innovate, and we can start to innovate for restoring our relationship to nature. We can become a keystone species again. And so I want to take a quick look at the last 50 years of antibiotic use. To your point, herbicides and pesticides, this thing that we're highly dependent on as a economy.
100%, but we can't leave people hanging. So let's find out what's the actual.
I
put it in perplexity.
Yeah, I said what food causes the most food poisoning.
Fuck.
The answer is just foods that are contaminated.
Raw, undercooked poultry, that makes sense. Ground beef, other undercooked meats, commonly linked to toxin-producing E. coli, leafy greens, and other raw vegetables. So they don't have a percentage. Raw or undercooked shellfish, raw or undercooked eggs, unpasteurized milk, and soft cheeses.
Dangerous.
Yeah, those are dangerous. Serious pathogens like Listeria and Salmonella. Okay. So there's no data that shows exactly what people get sick the most from. So your point. Go back to where you wanted to go from.
So you talked about the herbicides and pesticides. So this started with the Green Revolution in the 1960s, where we started to believe that the Midwest would start to feed the world. We were going to eliminate hunger by chemical farming. So I want to repeat that sentence. We decided we were going to eliminate hunger by chemical farming.
And that was only the 1950s?
50s is where we really took off with it, because what happened
crazy.
At the end of World War II, we had a massive glut of oil, and so we had revved up the whole global oil and fossil fuel machine to supply the global war machine. We had planes, tanks everywhere the first time. World War II ends, suddenly there's an enormous overload of oil, and oil companies need a new revenue source. And this had begun in the 1905-10 phase with the Rockefellers. largest oil-producing families in the world suddenly realize, wait a second, these carbon molecules can be reinvented into something much better. And so we can sell a gallon of oil for 22 cents back then, or we can take those and start to break out through chemical processing carbon molecules that can start to affect biology. And so we could start making drugs that affect these things. And so the Flexner report comes out in 1910 that basically demonizes and laughs out herbalism and 10,000 years of traditional medicine, and says that it's this new technology of small carbon molecules that's the future of, it's the only advanced form of medical care. And so we started into this belief that it was going to be chemical derivatives of fossil fuels that were not going to just treat diseases, but they were also going to grow our crops. And
It was
that's
Rockefeller that did this, right?
the Rockefellers funded the Flexner report, which was Dr. Flexner's big report that said, here's the future, and here's,
And he had massive investments in oil.
Rockefeller built the whole system. So he built Standard Oil that would then get broken up through the monopolies into ExxonMobil and the rest, Shell, etc. So you've got, this situation where it's lived through to today. And so something like the chemotherapies that were around, there's one called vincristine, which is a classic chemotherapy used for a whole host of common cancers. And vincristine is a natural compound derived from life, and so it's biologically made by algae and things like this. And so it's similar to oil, where it's just a carbon substrate, but it's still in this living form. But it's creating this strange carbon molecule called vincristine. So it's made in algae, it's present in algae. Instead of saying, hey, here's a biologic system that we should look at, like, well, maybe this should be in our soil systems. Maybe we should be growing food that had, this therapeutic effect, this anti-cancer effect in it. Instead, they said, no, let's separate the algae from nature and let's create huge vats of this, and we will chemically extract the vincristine. Vincristine today is sold for $28,000 a gram.
What?
And so the same thing was done with oil. We can take something that's worth 20 cents and we can turn it into $28,000 if we manipulate these molecules and then make a story of this treats a disease that's attacking humanity. And so that's how the antibiotic, anti-cancer, anti-diabetes, anti-obesity, anti-everything has come about, is let's invent chemicals that solve a problem that doesn't even really exist. And so this is where we start to slip into this massive abstraction of, we get so good at solving problems that shouldn't even exist, or maybe don't even exist. And so this was the slippery slope that we set into in 1910s that then accelerated like anything in the 1950s. And so in the 1950s, you'll remember we had penicillin in late World War II. So penicillin was the first direct antibiotic, and it was a revolution. It was so exciting. So kids in the 1940s and 50s were getting an injection in their butt for anything: common cold, sneeze, red eyes, penicillin. And so we were giving out these antibiotics thinking, well, we're going to sterilize humans finally. And humans weren't sterile because Louis Pasteur's late 1800s telling us germs were the only thing that was really killing humans. If we eliminate germs, humans are going to just thrive. And so the idea that we now had antibiotics, small things that aren't human, we would finally become healthy again.
Right, but if people did get infected with syphilis back then, antibiotics like penicillin would cure them.
It would eliminate the symptom of syphilis, but syphilis wasn't a disease. Syphilis was a symptom of a degradation of healthy biologic interconnected relationships. And that was being argued back then. And in the late 1800s, arguing with Pasteur over decades of really well-published stuff. You've got...
So can I stop you there? So you're saying that the people got syphilis because their system was compromised, not because syphilis is particularly dangerous. So did some people not get syphilis that were alive back then, that were in contact with it? I mean, how contagious was it? And is it because their bodies were unhealthy and their immune systems weren't functioning correctly, because they were malnourished, because they didn't get enough nutrients? Like what?
Exactly. Yeah, so...
Because a lot of it was the aristocracy. Like, you would think they're the most well-fed.
They're the most separated from nature.
Too, right?
They're the ones that aren't gardening. They're the ones that aren't out in the back. They're the ones that are separated from nature and a technology called convenience pushed around them on many layers. So they're the ones not touching the soil. They're the ones not making the bricks. They're the ones not building the houses.
They were also drinking a lot and partying.
Because they weren't feeling anything. So they got to have the chemicals to feel something.
Right.
And this is where I think this whole, give everybody $500,000 and they'll be happy. No, it's going to isolate them further. They're going to numb them down, and all it's going to create is drug addiction on the highest levels we've ever seen.
If they function the way people function today. But that was my point, is if we educate children to not be in pursuit of money, but instead think of money as something that provides you with food and shelter and basic needs, and you don't have to worry about any of that stuff anymore. Now what you need to do is worry about being a person, worry about finding something that's fascinating, and get an education
Fuck.
just for your own sake of fueling your curiosity. Learn things, grow, pick projects, do things you want to do. Start taking, learning a musical instrument. Do something that you find fascinating, because you don't have to spend your time just working anymore. Isn't that possible?
You just said a word that I want to go back to that's so important. You said, here's enough money to provide you food, shelter, and anything else you need.
Yeah.
Does money really provide food, shelter, or does nature provide it?
Well, you use nature to make a house. Like cement doesn't exist in a vacuum.
The Achuar tribe have been building their houses for 40,000 years.
Right.
No money. They've literally not had money.
Right, but they live in the jungle, right? If you live in Arizona, you better have a fucking house. You better have air conditioning too.
Have you visited the Aboriginal brothers down in Australia? Every bit as hot and brutal as no houses. For 40,000 years,
Right.
They lived absolutely fine without money.
That's not ideal. It's not ideal to be outside when it's 110 degrees and you're just suffering. I'm sure if those people had air conditioning, they'd go, ooh, this is way better.
That's exactly what happened.
They got air conditioning, and then what happened?
Give them air conditioning, they come out of nature.
Yeah, but always? I mean, it's the only way. Like, people are so dumb, they can't be educated to the fact that there's a bunch of things that you have to satisfy.
It's not intelligence, it's comfort.
Comfort.
It's subconscious.
Right, but can't you teach people that they should just seek comfort? Because I learned that. People can learn that. Like, everybody is like naturally inclined to seek comfort, but if you do that too much, you become soft and you atrophy and you get very depressed, and that's a real problem with people. We need tasks. We are task-oriented, goal-oriented creatures. We like stuff. We like to do things. We like to do puzzles. We like to play games. We're
like to build
fascinated.
stuff. So I've been building stuff since I was a kid.
People love building stuff.
I had the best life ever because I was born.
Fuck.
And so I grew up in government housing in Colorado. 1973, the Vietnam War was just ending, and a bunch of the Hmong people of Cambodia were displaced because of Agent Orange, a chemical that is immediately cousin to glyphosate, the chemical we're going to talk about.
Is it really? Agent Orange is a cousin?
They're the same class. They're both organophosphate molecules, and so I'll get into that story a little later. But nonetheless, this peoples of the Hmong were displaced because we dumped it all over Cambodia, North Vietnam, to make bare the Ho Chi Minh Trail so we could, from the air, see our enemy and kill more people. We turned an entire jungle system into a complete moonscape. Not a single living life form left after 25 years of Agent Orange.
If you go back there right now, it's still like that?
No, it is fully recovered because biology's been allowed to return. We created so much disease in that place that humans were displaced. As soon as humans step out of the kind of extractive relationship, nature rushes back.
Agent Orange, it's not like a permanent chemical that stays in the soil.
There's no such thing as a permanent chemical. They can once
forever
biology.
Chemicals? Those forever chemicals?
Forever chemicals are measured without life. If you put biology back in the system, it will heal itself, period. And that's my promise to humanity, that everything is perfect. The stress that we're putting on this planet right now with these herbicides, pesticides, antibiotics, everything we're doing right now, I want to keep this in the context of everything is perfect. I'm going to keep drilling this home until we get there. But it's going to be an interesting journey, because first we have to look at how much suffering have we created first to understand then why would we create suffering and why would that be perfect. But we'll get there. But I think we need to back up to people's lived experience right now. 1973, we have the end of a world war really, with this economic drain. Vietnam War was this massive drain on economic systems, disrupted all kinds of things. And then suddenly it's over. And a little company called Monsanto that was producing Agent Orange needed a new economy. And so they repurposed themselves into a chemical cleaner for industrial pipes. And they bought a patent from a Japanese inventor who put this patent in the late 1950s for something called glyphosate. Bought that patent in 1974, and they were using it to clean industrial pipes because it has an amazing ability to grab minerals and pull it out of circulation. So they were dumping lots of this down these clogged, pipes at manufacturing facilities, and it would clean the pipes out beautifully. But the problem was, as soon as the effluent got out into the river, it would kill all the fish and everything else, and so it was clearly not going to get past any environmental protection. So they needed a different purpose for this stuff at lower concentrations, and so they repatented it in 1976 as a weed killer and rolled it out as Roundup, which would become the most successful weed killer in history. But this molecule had been already in use, and this organophosphate family of molecules had already been killing life throughout Cambodia, Vietnam. Those people got displaced, and I grew up with them in Boulder, Colorado, in government housing. And those Hmong people showed us something of biology as they're most poisoned peoples on the planet, and they showed no metabolic collapse. They showed no decline in health. They didn't have explosion of cancer or anything else. They should have, because we know that Agent Orange causes cancer. And they showed me, as young as I was at the time, 3-4 years old, growing up with these Hmong people in gardens, and these Cambodian women were squatting in the middle of their 10-foot plots that they were given as part of our Section 8 government housing, and they would sit and tell a story, stay human connected. The receivers were on, the antennas were open. They're telling a story while they're squatting barefoot in soil systems, and the biology is restoring their bodies, cleaning their bodies. I would find that out 35 years later studying glyphosate and human biology. But this is what I loved, is that I had a lived experience of peoples that had been radically poisoned, but had stayed in touch with the land. And because they were an extension of the planet, they didn't show disease.
Because these are the people that left, though. I mean, the people that were still there in Cambodia and in Laos and all the areas where they used Agent Orange, didn't they have a high concentration of cancer, the people that lived there?
Yeah, and that's largely because they got displaced to concentration camp type environments where they were separated from nature. So if you don't stay connected to nature, then toxicity shows up, cancer shows up, all these things. A good example of this is Chernobyl.
But the people that lived in the villages where Agent Orange, as long as they stayed close to nature, you're saying that they were fine from Agent Orange?
In this case, there were no villages left. We literally turned it into a moonscape. So they were refugee status, divorced. They didn't have land to go back to for years.
But there were people that were close to where that Agent Orange stuff was that lived, that did get cancer, right?
Yeah, and the ones with the highest cancer were the U.S. military soldiers. And so the people that were most separate from nature were going to show the highest rates of cancer. So the U.S. military that are eating canned food and MREs,
right,
half a world away, they're going to show an immediate increase in it. And that's why Agent Orange couldn't be repurposed, is because it got such a bad rap on
high anxiety. You're in a war. You don't want to be there.
You're isolated socially.
You're probably doing a lot of drugs.
Psychologically, yeah. So you've reached a stress level because of your separation from your own personal, natural, connected biosis of a family and a community and your garden and all these things. So as we get further from nature, we become more vulnerable, and then toxins become a real crisis for biology. So biology in isolation will have huge consequences to poisoning. A connected biologic system sees poison as a stressor that will make it stronger, not weaker.
When you're communicating with these people, especially like people that live in these indigenous cultures, do they experience infections? Do they have do they get the flu? Does anything go through them that's in their own body, not something that's introduced by other people? Like we know that wiped out 90% of Native Americans as disease that came from Europe.
It's a story that's told. I'm not sure that we have the greatest evidence of that. That story has been played a lot. I think it's also possible that we just killed a lot of people.
Well, we certainly did that as well.
But I think that what's not understood was the breaking of their relationship to their natural system. And so they may have had dysentery and died of infectious diseases, but not until we displaced them from their gardens, displaced them from their land and all that. We had to break their relationship to nature if they were going to get a bowel infection that was going to cause a problem. I've just seen too many examples of connected biological systems that just cannot become diseased. A connected system. And again, let me turn to Chernobyl for a moment, because it's a pretty rad example of this. Largest nuclear disaster that's ever been created in human history. Maybe the Japan one is now exceeding it, but Chernobyl, was it 30 years ago or something, 1976 or something like that? Chernobyl happens, huge nuclear waste dump into soil systems throughout the Siberian region there, and we have the immediate movement of humans out of the region out of fear of cancer. And sure enough, all the humans that were in touch with this system, huge rates of thyroid cancer, renal disease, all kinds of things, occurred. Meanwhile, those soils are primarily inhabited by voles. A small little mouse-like creature lives under the ground, looks halfway across a field mouse and a mole. Those tiny little creatures have been eating the most radioactive soils on the planet for the last 30, 40 years. No, it's almost 50 years now. And so that 50 years of eating radioactive material, they're now radioactive. So when you put a Geiger counter up next to one of those voles, it's not beep, 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 beep. It's just a continuous hum. And so these are the most radioactive creatures on Earth. Not a single case of pup deformities, no collapse of fertility. In fact, the vole populations are thriving. The predator to the vole in Chernobyl is the wolf. And the Siberian wolf has absolutely quadrupled its population. No birth defects, no cancer, no consequence to eating the voles that are highly radioactive. And so these are the best examples of when a system, when a keystone species or otherwise, is connected to its nature, she will never allow an injury to occur that she doesn't already have a solution for. And so at the microbiome level, we now know how these wolves and voles are surviving as they upregulate Pseudomonas. And Pseudomonas has this amazing, it's a bacteria that actually, if you look through all those food poisoning lists of like what's going to kill you on the E. coli and the Pseudomonas. Pseudomonas is one of the most feared bacteria in a hospital, for example. Turns out Pseudomonas thrive on radioactive material. They digest it, turn it into usable and safer products and all of this. And so the microbiome is there, living in the voles, constantly converting and updating its physiology so it's repairing at a faster rate than it's being injured. And I'll show you what this looks like in the lab too in a moment, but I want you to hold that thought of every organism has a rate of repair and a rate of injury. And as long as the rate of repair is slightly faster than the rate of injury, it never gets a disease. You can ramp up that injury rate, and if nature stays interconnected, your rate of repair simply steps up to its right capacity. And so this is that classic adage, if it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. A biology that's practicing a relationship of biosis, the interconnected relationships that make health life possible. A biotic creature will always have the resources, if from nature rather than from money. Money's never going to provide you biosis. Nature's always going to provide you the biotic capacity to overcome any toxicity that gets streamed up, planetary or otherwise.
What does it say for you? Yeah, what does it say, fucking idiot?
The sulfuric acid pools that this planet dominated this planet's surface. Biology came right past all of that. Biology grew up in it. Biology has no problem with chemistry because of its phenomenon of light concentration of energy, more energy per cubic centimeter than anything else in the cosmos. Life is this churning machine of iteration, repair, regeneration, iteration, repair, regeneration. And every time it does that, it has this tendency to make new iterations of itself, to become more biodiverse. New species are formed, new imagination of nature. And pretty soon you have a planet Earth that's teeming with so much unbelievable life. And finally a container that can hold its maximum concentration of information and light energy is created, and that's a human. And so we've got this container that's holding billions of years of stress. The result of stress, when connected to nature, is more life force, more intelligence, more beauty. And so I loved what you said earlier, because it's very important. There's a chapter in my book that's looking at this kind of neo-spiritualism of the utopia you mentioned, and you kind of call BS from the beginning on that. You're like, humans have never done utopian things. Humans are part of the stress mechanism of the planet. I'm convinced of it, because what we do all the time is we stress the system. We finally invented airplanes, and the first thing we did was try to jump out of them. We just like stress. We like the discomfort of pushing the envelope. And I think we live on a planet in the middle of a universe that loves the same thing.
What the fuck are you doing? Why are you taking that shot? The fuck are you doing? Why would you try to hit that?
Every time there's a death, there's more opportunity for
fucking idiot.
New imagination. And so when I say everything,
what an idiot, yo.
It's literal. It means everything.
What a fucking idiot.
All the time. And if humans do go extinct in these coming decades, that's
fucking sick, probably. Fucking stupid. Why aren't you right behind there, you fucking idiot?
There's a moment,
Jesus
though, with every
Christ.
hospice patient where you suddenly get to see life return. And sometimes they choose more life in the human body, and sometimes they're like, I'm gone. That's where I belong over there. I have a next.
Oh my God.
I've been by so many near-death experiences, I can't even count them anymore. But every time somebody dips across the
Oh my
and we
goodness.
go into 5 sensory systems here, they see a universe that's so interconnected and has got absolutely nothing to do with a human mind and its perception and its, effort to explain the universe. It has nothing to do. It's an
Oh my gosh.
experience. It is that antenna going wide open
Fucking idiot.
and being like, this is what it is. And I can't. It's the one thing I wish I could do, and I've never been able to do.
Oh my God.
Help humans feel that. If you could feel what it felt like when somebody hasn't even come back to the point where they can tell you the near-death experience, but you're just standing there in witness to them, and their antenna goes blowing wide open, and you can feel what is in the field at that moment, there is nothing that compares to it. Plant medicine, peak experiences, breath work, cold plunge, hot plunge, take your body through any stress. You will not experience the amount of energetic information that comes through at that moment to that human antenna that's still biologically
Fuck,
connected
yo.
to Earth, but is perceiving the whole story. That's the end of addiction. If you could feel that, there would be no more addiction on this planet. Because addiction is the necessary behavior of an organism that believes itself to be abandoned by its infinite reality. Humans believe ourselves to be abandoned by nature, and we put it right in our definition. You probably pull it up, Oxford English Dictionary. Nature is everything in the firmament of the earth, minerals, plants, animals, as opposed to humans or anything humans have made. Not only do we write ourselves out of nature, we put ourselves in opposition to nature, as opposed to humans or anything humans have made.
That's the Oxford Dictionary's definition of nature? Really?
And so as you start to think about this, like that's the whole story, is when we started to lose the antenna.
Oh boy.
We started dulling down the receptor, and we started planting mental constructs.
Fuck.
Money
Get it out of here. Thank you. Fuck.
Money has never birthed anything. Women birth life. Money does not.
Oh my God, here we go.
Biology.
Oh my God. Thank God.
More beauty, more intelligence.
Thank God.
Anytime you create an abstract system and say biology needs
Shit.
that. Biology.
Did not want to go to overtime, bro.
Living people
That was
need
not fun,
tiny
bro.
drips of vitamin C. Living humans need peptides injected. It is the biggest miss in the cosmos, is humans that don't realize that we are the best antennas that have been made on this planet so far. If we begin to use those, we will not do utopia. We'll experience opportunities for stress that doesn't harm another individual. And this is the characteristic of a sovereign reality, where everything is up-leveling all of the time. And something that gives up its life is not killed, it's literally giving its life to the next. And so when we look at predation, you're thinking of the lion eating the antelope. If you spend enough time with these indigenous groups, they can tell you which antelope is going to give itself to the lion.
No shit.
Because it's weak or it's broken. There's a relationship they can feel between
the
predator and the prey. It's interesting that we call them prey. Who's preying in this situation? Who's about to go into the predation process? Is the antelope or the lion? Maybe
antelope.
But there's a relationship there in our indigenous understanding. This is where sacred hunting comes in. Sacred hunting never went out to kill anything. It came to receive more. So if you go out in nature with the attitude of, I'm going to receive the abundance of nature for my peoples, for my family, for my thing, and you see what nature is going to offer you. And this is the hunter-gatherer tribes in spades here. But this is the change of mindset that we've got to go back to, is everything is sacred, everything is sovereign. And when we sit back into that relaxed relationship, we never got kicked out of nature. Everything, our food, our shelter, our livelihoods are going to come from nature, not money. When we make that subtle shift of trusting this planet again, then we start turning on the antenna. And then our intelligence comes back on. And then our memory comes back on. And we don't have to sit around being like,
nah, I'm good. Fucking sizzle.
be connected to
Sizzler.
that information because it's all still here.
I want to go back to that, but I want to push back on this idea that people can survive plagues if they don't have immunity to it. Because one of the best examples where that seems to have wiped out an entire civilization is all these sites they keep finding in the Amazon.
The fucking Black Plague.
When you read about the lost city of Z, you read about the initial European explorers who made their way into the Amazon. They found this thriving civilization. They went back 200 years ago. 200 years later, there's nothing. And the predominant theory is that they brought with them smallpox and a bunch of other diseases, and they spread like wildfire to a bunch of people that didn't have immunity to it, and they died. Who's living more in harmony with nature than those people that were living in the Amazon? I mean, they were living in complete harmony with nature. They just didn't have the immunity to deal with European diseases.
So you're telling me a story that I cannot answer because the story is abstract itself. And so...
How so?
Because you're painting a picture, that somebody knows that there was smallpox that went across those peoples.
Well, we know there was smallpox, and we know that smallpox did most certainly wipe out a lot of Native Americans, as well as a lot of European settlers. Was it because they were malnourished? That's certainly possible. I mean, that's certainly a factor.
I guess I would just say when. When do we have evidence that they started dying of smallpox? And I think that's after we displaced them from their tribal lands, after we displaced them from their connected ecologies.
It's hard to say. That's hard to say because it seems like there's a lot of evidence that it spread through tribes and even tribes that were on their own. That there was a real problem. But the other question is, it wasn't always bountiful, like where were, and there was times where they had like serious famine and they didn't have food sources that were nutritious, and they did their best to stay alive. It wasn't always like, look at all the deer and all the fish, and we have fruits and vegetables everywhere, we're fine. No, there was certainly times where these nomadic people ran into a bad situation, and if you introduce a new disease, a novel disease that they don't have an immunity to during that time, that could most certainly wipe them out, despite the fact that they're living in nature. They don't have the resources that's required to keep a biological system perfectly functioning and healthy. They're struggling. They're barely getting by. I could totally see how people like that, we like to think that everybody that lived in North America before the Europeans came had it nailed. They lived perfectly. Well, no. Tribal hunter-gatherer people that are nomadic, like sometimes you run into a bad place. Sometimes you're in an area that has no game. That's just how it goes. You have a bunch of mouths to feed, and things go wrong. And if they're in that kind of a situation and they catch smallpox, they're going to be compromised. Their immune system will be compromised. Completely makes sense. And there's widespread contact with these diseases that came from these Europeans who also weren't very healthy.
Come on.
They came over here on boats. That's got to be fucking terrible for you. You're on a boat for 3 months. What kind of food are you eating? And then you get here and you're spreading all your junk to all these other people that have no idea what that is.
I think you're on the button of it. And so it was less about the condition of people that were native to this land. It was more about the divorce of the people that were incoming from nature. And so those settlers or those industrial colonists who were coming over from Spain or otherwise, it was their radical divorce for thousands of years of innovations of clothing and horses and all of these different layers of technology that interrupted their food systems and their relationship with nature. They were coming over here sick. I agree with that. And it's likely that may have been more of the impact, was less of an infectious disease and more of a dissonant imbalance. And so I think what we now know about the gut microbiome is that it has an immediate feedback loop to stress signals, cortisol specifically. And so if you're a Spanish colonial army that shows up with weapons that have never been seen before, and you've got this marauding belief that you're separate from nature, and so you need to go steal as much as possible because you don't have enough. And so that's the downstream of the abandonment disorder.
Get in there.
Is scarcity.
Get in there.
Which then breeds empire rise and fall and colonialism and ownership models and all of this. And so you come over with this marauding new species. Let's think of it as a new species because up until this point, None of the indigenous cultures here saw themselves as separate from nature. All of their 40,000 years of traditional practice where we are integrated in nature. We are an element between the cosmos and the earth. We sit in this fine little beautiful zone between heaven and earth, and this is human. This is the experience of just being an antenna that's connected to this cosmos, connected to planet Earth.
A great example of that is Aztec architecture that literally mirrors the cosmos.
Mirrors the cosmos, as did the Egyptians.
Mm-hmm.
And so all of them were building these pyramids in 13-degree angles, just like Orion's
Mom,
belt.
please say that.
And so you got, Pleiadian star clusters lasered into the stones in Peru, and the temples that are built underground there, like crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Because we were antenna to the universe and we were antenna to the earth. We sat feeling them both. That's the magic of being human, is you can feel both. This is a very magical moment, and my patients that are dying and are letting go of these bodies, they're certainly cosmic in scale. And they'll tell you exactly which planets they go to and how they expand into the universe, become stars, all kinds of crazy stuff in their near-death experiences. But they're not on Earth at that moment. So I think this wonderful moment of being an antenna, a biological antenna, not the physics of a soul, some identity that sits outside of biologic space-time, but an antenna that's now biologically connected to more energy per cubic centimeter than it will ever feel, because the cosmos doesn't do anything.
Oh, that would have been nice as fuck.
And so
that would have been so sick.
As much concentrated energy as life. And so this is this precious moment. And so you imagine for tens of thousands of years designing.
Bro, that first one would have been so sick.
Technologies, the pyramids and space travel and everything else that they're doing at this time. Unbelievable connectivity.
Come on, bro.
Along comes a species that look human, except they think they don't belong to Earth. They don't think they got abandoned. Kicked out of the garden phase, played itself out. And they come in with this killing mentality that is different than the prey and predator relationship that peoples had with each other, I'm sure, too. It wasn't just lions and antelopes. There was a predation between humans from our beginning, too. We are a natural system. We live, we die, we rebirth, we redeath. When our antennas are wide open, we understand the relationship and the flow of life as it goes through its ascension process. But here comes this species that is fundamentally opposed to life. It is antibiotic in its behavioral relationship to Earth. The stress that would have been felt in the neurologic system from peoples that had been interconnected, understanding space and heaven and everything we're talking, what they would have felt in that time.
Come on, bro, jump on that. Get that.
Disease. Just like the boxed apple juice that came along to break the relationship of 40,000 years of abundance for the Achuar tribe and now put them in poverty. The same thing could happen energetically at the spiritual or psychospiritual.
Let's go.
That antenna could suddenly break. Suddenly you felt like you were actually
that pinch, and then that bang, huh?
In our presence, then we suddenly viscerally feel something like, this is actually dangerous. Other people can be mean, they can be assholes, but they're not. It's that antenna goes up. And so imagine a whole civilization feeling for the most this foreign object coming at them, and it's
get in there. Let's go.
It's tearing up their gardens. It's got horses which have never been seen on this continent. The cortisol level goes berserk. Immune system shuts down. Microbiome in the gut collapses. And suddenly they're experiencing diseases of the worst, not because the pathogens were bad, not because some element of nature suddenly leapt across the ocean and attacked them, but because they went out of relationship, the antenna shut down, they lost the context of an interconnected biosis relationship with heaven and earth. I think that's where we start to really see honestly what was happening at that time. It was fear that was bringing, it was guilt, shame of being kicked out of nature. It was energetic signals that were breaking the informational stream, the field of connectivity that humans were probably suspended in at that time.
But even before the Europeans arrived, the Aztecs were doing horrific shit to each other. Like in the consecration of the temple of Tenochtitlan, where they killed one of a Spanish chronicler named Diaz said that they killed as many as 80,000 people over 4 days. They sacrificed them.
It's like 8,000 kids.
This is not like a balanced living with nature civilization we're talking about, the Aztecs. They were doing some wild shit, man.
They had survived much longer than the Europeans had.
I understand that, but they had survived by enslaving people and ritually sacrificing them.
So that's your European story.
Get it out of there.
That's a
What
European
the fuck are you
seeing
doing, bro?
and projecting its belief of its own broken relationship with nature and everything else.
But do you think that they had a harmonious connection with nature by sacrificing slaves?
I can't defend that because I wasn't there to experience it, but I'll tell you a different.
Up time, you gotta go.
You question it.
Please.
Because for me to tell you what the Aztecs were, it's a bullshit story.
Wait, how
I
can
can't tell you, but in my own lived experience with tribes in that exact area, when I spend time with them, my antenna goes wide. I start to sense this bigger reality. And if you look deeper at the stories of the Aztecs, so one of the
where is this guy? Take the fucking shot.
Their sports, and so they had a game that looked a lot like some combination of soccer and basketball. And so they had a little tiny ball that they could strike with any part of their body except their hands, so they couldn't throw.
The Mayans did that, right?
Yeah, and so the Mayans have this sport, and they've got this.
Oh my lord!
On the wall of the playing field, which were huge. They're like, as big as your lacrosse field or something like this. And so they got these huge fields in the middle of these pyramidic, structures of stone, and way up on the wall of one of these would be this tiny little hoop that was hardly bigger than the ball itself, and you had to like bump it with your shoulder or kick it through that little hoop. The games would last for days.
The game would last for days.
Some version of your British sports that go on and on. But at any rate, the winner would be then taken into the front, and the captain of the team would be beheaded.
Oh shit!
Yeah, not a lot of incentive.
No, to win.
Incentive, and
not a lot of
less
incentive to score.
The incentive.
That's why the games took for fucking ever.
Yeah, exactly.
Days.
But what
nobody wanted
to
win?
Was it they didn't want to win, or was the incentive not to stay alive?
Well, the Kings weren't cutting their own heads off if someone won, right? They were cutting their heads off of the guy.
That was like a fucking pride thing.
And
the teams must have sucked.
I mean,
we can make all kinds of suppositions.
Sure, I mean, maybe they were looking forward to being sacrificed. It's very possible.
I think that's an
but
interesting
human
possibility.
Instincts don't align with that. Human instincts align with people try to avoid death whenever possible.
I totally agree that while we're still veiled between the five senses that make us think that things end at
I understand,
life.
But if you're advocating for a world where it's okay to kill 80,000 slaves at the consecration of a temple that you probably didn't build in the first place, because one of the problems with the Aztec temples is they don't claim they built them. They found them. They found them already built. And they literally call them the place where the gods were born. Like, some of these incredible structures were built who knows how much longer before the Aztecs were there. They describe it. They don't say they built them.
Oh, they inhabited them, same with Egypt. They were built thousands of years before the modern Egyptians showed up.
Likely.
So
the Egypt one is a little more complicated, because there's so much of it and it's so big. It's like it's not that the Aztec one isn't complicated, because it certainly is. So is the Mayan one. I've only been to Mayan pyramids. I've been to Chichen Itza. It was fucking incredible. It's insane. You just try to wrap your head around what this society must have been like.
What was it like
at its peak? But that's also the belief, is that these people encountered European diseases as well. That's why they just sort of dropped off and vanished, just like the Amazon.
This guy's sucking it up right now, bro.
So I think there's a risk of us imprinting our current belief systems on a distant past that we can't remember.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, they don't really know what happened to the Mayans.
That's where I'll say
there's a lot of guessing, but the predominant theory, I think, is disease.
And so I don't want to leave people hanging and think that I'm out to create a new humanity where it's okay to kill 80,000 people.
I don't think you're saying
I'm interested in a situation where the concept of killing goes away. The concept of death becomes reverent. The concept of death no longer is seen as an endpoint. The concept of death becomes an evolution, not an endpoint. This is what all indigenous people is. Spend some time in Nepal, go to Tibet. Their whole culture is in reverence to death.
Well, they have those Tibetan sky funerals. Those are wild. And people are horrified by that. But I was like, as long as you knew that, like, they didn't have to get that HBO autopsy guy to exhume your body because your husband killed you or whatever it is.
What?
As long as you know that you died in a normal, natural way, isn't that kind of better to let the vultures eat you? It's kind of what you're supposed to be. You're supposed to cycle back into nature. We're so weird that we say, nah, you can't have me. And we poison ourselves so that we can go visit Grandpa in the funeral home.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And he's embalmed. He's embalmed with toxic chemicals that are going to keep his body from decaying. So much so
That's
that you
the
can
word
dig him
box.
up a couple years later and find
Nothing
out
ever
that
fucking
dog
happens.
Nana poisoned him. You know, because that's what happens. They find out.
That starts us on a new commentary about marriage, but
yeah, well, about humans, you know.
But I think there's something that you're
that
not
was just
getting.
one example. It could be,
Um,
a bunch of people. There's nurses that poison people. There's a lot of crazy people out there. But the point is, like, we're very strange in that the most common way we take care of bodies is we fill them up with chemicals that make it so that the rest of nature can't absorb us.
It's because we have no reverence for death, because we think it's an endpoint.
Yeah.
So we cling to these
Ah.
encounters as if this was the story.
Yeah.
And that's what I got to see in hospice over and over again. It's the moment people pierce the veil and realize the antenna can sense everything again.
Yeah.
That's when they realize this body is a tiny story of me. This is a tiny part of my experience, and it's precious. Because at that moment of being human, I felt heartbreak. I felt suffering. I felt fear. I felt guilt. I felt shame. None of which you can feel when you let go and pierce that veil. On the other side is radical connectivity. On the other side of that veil is beautiful connectivity energetically. You feel everything, stars, moonscapes, everything. You're in this singularity moment, and that's what the body, like, I continue to get so moved by what I feel right now when I just tell you about what it feels like to be in the presence of somebody in that moment when their antenna goes wide open and they still have a biological antenna that can both transmit and receive information. The amount of information around death is so vast, and this is why the Tibetans honor it so thoroughly, is this is that precious one moment where a human antenna gets the entire download and can still transmit it. And so if we are not sitting in the rooms with our elders that are dying, we are missing the biggest download of life. And we will only find it out when we're on our deathbed, probably dying alone. And so this is what I'm talking about, is I see a world not without death. I see a world where death becomes the biggest moment of transformation.
Wow.
And 10% of people that go through that have to be discharged from hospice 6 months later because they went on to live new life. Their diseases go away. Their health recovers. Their biology returns. And they have a different relationship with their children. They go and start creating art they've never created. These near-death experiences are trippy, and 10% is a huge number. As a hospice doctor, I was admitting 80 patients a week to die. That's 8 patients a week that are doing what they weren't supposed to do. They were supposed to die, and they're not doing it. In fact, they are showing so much more life after they glimpsed that everything's perfect. And they took a deep breath and said, I got one more thing to express before I let go of this finite moment.
That's wild.
And this is our precious experience that we have. And I think, honestly, I think you're embodying something of this for humanity to look at. You're one of those rare personalities that gets on this, seismic launch into the public eye. Wealth comes rushing to you that wasn't even expected. You set out to have some fun with some friends, and then this happened.
Oh, I was gonna go in, bro.
A few people in the
So
public eye
simple, bro.
allow that to break your relationship to your nature, and you stayed connected to the people that are building stuff, that are making cars, and that's what I grew up doing. I love it. It's what keeps us real, is turning wrenches, getting the car to go faster. Building a house. I built my own home. I live in the woods of Virginia and built my own home there. I'm living with my partner down in Panama. She's building a whole village down there. It's amazing to see what is going to happen when women start doing development on this planet. It's going to be spectacular.
Okay, one of these guys, huh?
What I'm feeling is this return to being human, where I am receiving so much information, and I need no money to be happy.
Wow.
If we keep making money the source by which we will be safe, fed, housed, everything else, we will continue in our abstract relationship to nature.
Fuck me, I hate doing that.
Start reforming all living systems in the context of a nature that is not only abundant, it does not know death. It only knows transformation, 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 more complexity, more beauty, more intelligence. And so this is where we can start to lose the fear of death and start to move into this more reverent state of sovereignty, where we understand that we are fully resourced, not by Elon Musk's minimum wage of $500,000, we are resourced by nature itself, by life itself, because we are cellular creatures. We
Oh,
had to be fully
wow. I mean,
resourced to
same.
occur in our mother's womb. We needed no money to take one cell into 70 trillion cells inhabited by 14 quadrillion mitochondria that concentrate sunlight 10,000 times brighter than the sun. That happened without money.
This all sounds great, but how do you get the money to get a saw to cut the wood to make your
Well, how
house?
the fuck did I blow up?
Why did the money have to
That's
exist?
so
How did you
crazy.
get the saw? Did you make the saw?
Yeah.
Okay. What
Isn't
kind of
that
saw
where
do
it
you
begins?
have? Do you have a circular saw?
What the
Do you have
fuck?
a-
Now it's connection?
You know?
Now there's a connection problem. Fuck out of here, yo.
Why would we need money for that?
What the fuck? There's a connection
So
problem.
someone's got to make a factory. So someone's going to make the internal engine that spins that wheel 1,000 times a minute or whatever it is.
And so all you're talking
What
about
are you talking about?
energy.
The fucking internet just, bruh.
to do that. They have
Bruh.
to source the steel.
It's fucking
What if it
insane,
was
bro.
nature that put the resources in instead of the Fed? So the Fed's printing fake
It
money.
ain't mine.
Right, but you've got to motivate.
Your connection is getting timed out. No, it ain't mine.
Motivate people to create.
Yeah, well, certain things.
Or you just
like
have to
there's a
remove the
reason why
distractions.
people do it because they know that they can make some money off of it. You know.
Bro, that's ridiculous, bro.
Matrix,
So fucking
this
ridiculous.
stuff is coming from money.
DeWalt Power Tools, right?
People are
Make
fucking
those.
faggots,
It's
bro.
engineers. There's a bunch of designers. They all work for money, and they all like figure out how much electricity it's going to run on, what the engine's going to be, how fast it has to be, what's the best steel for the blades. There's money involved.
Come on, bro. What the
And
fuck's
they have to
going
have
on now?
warehouses where they have to build it. They have to pay people to pay their health care, pay their dental. They have to take care of them. Maybe they have a union, okay? So you've got union dues and fees, and there's a bunch of money being exchanged because people want a reason to show up at work to do the work to make these saws because they're very difficult to
Like,
make.
what's
It
going
takes
on? The
multiple
fuck?
people. There's a whole chain of different material science people that have to handle it.
That's
So
perfect. So you just gave a perfect synopsis of the last 200
bro,
years.
this guy just
That's the
fucking
industrial revolution.
blazing
That's
Joe,
how you make a
bro.
house. That's how you make this table. Like people have to work.
But we built houses and castles and pyramids that were much grander than any house built today without the money.
Bro, watch it start over. No way this is gonna start over.
Like houses, for sure they had money. Like which house?
Wow.
Did you go back?
Wow.
100 years ago, they definitely had money.
10,000.
They were paying people. Okay.
Pyramids.
It's a good question.
Did they build that with money?
We really
they
don't
just had
know.
a lot of money, so they built a pyramid?
Well, we don't know how they.
What was the score before whatever the hell just happened?
To work, and we don't know what the technology was involved in terms of planning, and we really don't.
I wouldn't be surprised if you messed with some type of thing with the connection.
But probably wasn't that.
And so it's
that's the thing. Is like
abstract monetary system that has nothing to do with life that built the pyramids.
Well, yeah, we don't know, right? But we would assume that
Unbelievable.
they're more sophisticated than that because
Unbelievable.
Sophisticated than that. We would like to think that it would be different. We are also trapped in thinking that the system that we currently find ourselves in,
I wouldn't be surprised.
The way human beings can operate. This is my belief about the pyramids and about a lot of these ancient structures. I think we assume that because we are on a specific direction.
How much time was left? Like, fucking for real.
This is the only direction that
like, really? They're gonna start always from the beginning?
I have a feeling that is absolutely not the case, and I think the pyramids are the best example of that. I think they went in a different direction. We don't know what direction that was because I think, along the lines of what Graham believes and what Randall Carlson believes and a lot of these other folks, that there was some sort of a great cataclysm. And this
Get
is
it, bro. Come on. There you go.
Myths that exist in all ancient religions.
Yeah.
And this is somewhere around 11,000 plus years ago.
Yep.
And I think that probably wiped out a lot of information on how things were made and what they did and why they were doing it the way they did it. And I think modern archaeology just saying, they use sand and push stones. Like, you can go fuck yourself. You go do that, bitch.
Come on, bro.
You go figure out how to carry a 500-ton stone.
Did he go this guy, bro? Did they just slap off this fucking guy?
Fuck yourself. You can't. You're lying to me. You're pretending to be an expert, and you're lying to me because you're not willing to say this baffles us to no end. We have no understanding of what tools were used in order to create these incredibly symmetrical statues. Forget about the pyramid itself. Forget about the things that. Are you aware of Filippo Biondi and his work out of Italy? The stuff that they're finding underneath the pyramids is baffling.
Go.
Baffling.
Go, get that.
Systems of their
baffling.
Yeah. So
20 meters in diameter, huge columns with spirals wrapped around them. Like, what's that? Why does it go a kilometer into the earth? This is crazy.
Is it crazy, or is it actually something we're actually living the truth of?
Well, I have a feeling it was an insanely advanced society that existed there. And I think there's just not a lot of evidence, because the cataclysmic event of 11,000 years ago was probably
Tell me.
That very few people survived. And the people that did survive, they just had stories, and they had survival skills, and they had to live in whatever way was possible in order to keep.
Now they're doing shit like this.
But I think all semblance of a technologically sophisticated society that existed pre 11,000 years ago.
Come on, bro, you gotta jump on that. Like, what the fuck?
Society reemerges around 6,000 years ago. Yeah. And I think that's what that is. It's a reemerging. And it's not a coincidence that all societies
I didn't see
that did emerge around 6,000 plus years ago, all of them have this flood myth. They all have these stories of these cataclysms, because that story was passed on generation to generation, all the people that survived. And what we're getting is the ultimate game of telephone.
Fuck.
We're getting the ultimate game of people telling a story, and then you tell a story, and then by the time it gets to Jamie, who knows what's missing? Who knows what's been added? Who knows what Pharaoh has added his touch to it, or what king has decided this part can't be in there because it doesn't jive with this particular religious text that I believe in. It's a real problem. It's a real problem when we go back and we try to figure out what happened in
history. You just fucking pushing, bro.
That should confound everyone and should absolutely remind you that we don't know is the pyramids. They should just remind you. We look at that. Shut the fuck up. There's no way you know. We don't know what was going on. We could only make guesses, and we have to be very open-minded when we make these guesses, because the sheer scale of these fantastic creations, and not just them, the labyrinths that go underneath it, the one that has this enormous 40-meter long metallic object that's under the ground that they don't know what the fuck it is. Herodotus talked about these labyrinths. Like, these are greater than Giza, he said. Like, what were these people doing, and how did they do it? We don't know.
Fuck.
You have such an
emotional bro.
In there. One of them is this knowing concept.
Yes.
If we continue to
get that out of there, bro. Get it out.
To explain the world we live in, the cosmos, and in all
its
complexities.
Oh my Lord Almighty! Please get that out. What the fuck?
End up with very disempowered versions of reality.
So what should we do instead?
What the fuck is this nigga doing, bro?
Okay, well, how you feel how they made the pyramids?
You're already doing it. I'm watching you do it, because you keep looking up here every time you're like really going after the pyramids. You look way up.
I do that with everything when I'm trying to think.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But what's actually happening is, once you've done that 4 or 5 times, your body starts putting the information in, and then you start speaking from some other thing than your mind. And that's when you come up with this conviction. And I can feel it. So when my antenna is open, I can feel you state your truth through your body language, through the energy you're transmitting across this table. And I'm not listening to your words anymore, I'm feeling you. Your truth is fundamentally that pyramids exist.
Fuck, man.
Things
I fucking hate off the wall, bro.
Mind and technologies
so
exist.
Bad.
They're here right now.
Yeah.
They're undeniable. You're transmitting a truth that I don't have to like work on the words, that I can feel it and it lands. For so long I was trained to look up here, and I spent all of this time, 17 years in academia, looking up here trying to find my information map of like, oh, there's that piece of information, there's that piece of information, let me put that into a story, because that's what I know. I had my near-death experience in 2010, and when I experienced the peace and the opening that happens, it was a car accident in 2010. When you have that experience, you suddenly realize that what you know is a fraction of what you can feel. And you have so much more information at your experiential level of capacity to inform your biology than the mind will ever be able to create. And so this
Where the fuck were you?
Telepathically. And this could all be theoretical.
The fuck?
But I will tell you, I have seen thousands of patients
like, you gotta fucking
are living this reality.
You gotta fucking back me up, bro. Where the fuck were you?
Telepathic communication wide open. And they are
unreal, bro. I don't even understand how these people are even fucking. This should be the last game.
Development necessary at the end of a period of time when humans went into complete abstraction. money systems went abstract, have no relationship to nature. We have medical systems that are actually chronic disease management systems that are bankrupting the
Get in
world.
there.
$5 trillion in a year
Let's
spent
fucking
on
go.
disease management in the United
Let's
States
fucking
alone.
go.
We are bankrupting the systems that got separated from nature. They are going to collapse. They are going to fail. And suddenly we develop a neurology that cannot be programmed with the old abstract systems and belief systems because they are feeling too much. We call it sensory processing deficits. But really what it is a mind that's no longer gated with excuses, with defense mechanisms.
Damn, bro, you need to follow the fuck all the way up here. Let's go.
Is this why
Fucking go.
there's one young boy who flew over Manhattan in a helicopter, and then he drew the entire skyline like completely accurately, just from his memory?
Yeah, and it's a project that's become known as the telepathy tapes is a great example of it.
Yeah.
And I was on their second season of that, talking through what I experienced in clinic, is that we now have not just a theory of telepathic communication, we have a lived experience between thousands of people that are in their between space, between the words. They are traveling to a unified location that they all agree exists, which is called the Hill.
The Hill.
And so they are having an experience in which massive amounts of information are being transmitted back and forth, and they cannot be programmed with death is bad and things. They can't believe any of the abstract things we've been taught because they feel too much. The reason I became so clear on this was...
What do you mean toxic? We haven't said anything to you guys.
Come along as complete accidents, because when we do scientific research, it's way too linear. We see something, we're like, well, if that's happened, then this must be the way it is. Well, if I just saw that, then this must be a way it is. So we do these linear, knowledge-based systems, and so we get nowhere. We go in circles well, cancer must be... Here we are. We've known cancer wasn't the problem. We knew that cancer was a metabolic symptom.
If anything, this should be game over. Whatever happened that first game, that was a problem.
Was the guy who broke the whole news in the 1920s. So here we are 100 years later, still thinking like cancer's coming out of the woodwork and attacking healthy human bodies. So we go on these linear things. What we are forgetting is these leaps.
Are you serious? How many own goals were there? We've been saying nice shot after each of one of our goals.
You surrender your knowledge base and you start to feel what's happening in front of you. And so I was taught that there was a disease called autism that was affecting our children. And for years I helped manage these people in clinics and everywhere they showed up in the medical system. And I saw this disease, and my linear mind was always like, I gotta fix that. Maybe if I do this, I could fix the human brain. Maybe if we...
That's crazy, bro. Well, if that was the...
Put this chemical in their body, we can change their neurochemistry and get them to be able to tolerate a day. My clinic that I launched in 2010 was called Revolution Health Center, rural clinic, town of 550 people, no resources monetarily. There was no reason this was going to become an explosive hub of innovation.
Get in there. Get in there.
I was hemorrhaging money.
Oh, come on. Get it.
Adult, rural doctor, had left the hallowed halls and the marble halls of academia, and...
Oh, what is that team doing, bro?
In these rural environments and inner city or urban environments is where we have these really high penetrance of autism. It's not being diagnosed because they don't have the resources to bring the attention to a child's 5, 7 years old, and by that time there's been no research on the kids. So lots of undiagnosed, autistic neurology out there. So I was seeing a lot of it in clinic, and these kids are heavily suffering is kind of through the roof. They are hitting their head against a wall 6-8 hours a day.
Come on, yeah.
Forehead from rhythmically hitting their head, striking their head against a wall. And when they get upset, somebody comes in their environment, stresses them. They start smearing feces and blood on the walls. It is, from parenting aspect, the most horrific hell you can possibly live in.
Come on, bro, do something.
Being expressed. And so these kids with highly affected autism are coming in my clinic, and they can't even sit in front of you. They run around in the clinic room, and they can't make eye contact, can't make physical. They're and they'll go hide in a corner, hit their head against the wall, stimming their body until the chaos of everything they're taking in is shut down to one signal of pain.
Fuck.
And this kid is 4 years old sitting in front of you, and this mother is more exhausted than you've ever seen a human being. And so we started trying to like go into the woodwork of like what resources are we not thinking of here. And by this time I was starting to be exposed to Native American indigenous practices and new energetic therapies, Ibrahim Karim stuff out of Egypt. And it was like, okay, show me something. Give me some tool here. And we stumbled upon this very simple tool, which is called emotion code therapy. And it's a simple way of bringing the mind into awareness of where an emotion is stored inside of itself, and then you run a magnet over the forehead, over the top of the head to reset the magnetic pull of the water.
Oh my God, please put it in there. Please go in.
And so
thank God.
Tool. I was super excited about it. But most of these kids coming in so effective wouldn't even get close enough for me to do the therapy. So we started doing it on the moms to show the kid, hey, this is safe, and they'd come in.
My apologies for the toxicity.
After 2 years of this, we started to realize all of the kids were improving before we ever got that treatment installed. They were improving when mom got treated. That started to make me realize they're not expressing a personal experience, they're expressing a field effect. Their antenna's wide open. And when we removed mom's emotional stressors, the kid got better. And so we started treating everybody in the field.
Almost fucking press the wrong button.
A heavily autistic child will require 3 to 5 full-time, efforts to get it. So they got a grandma, 2 aunties, an uncle, 2 brothers taking care of the kid. And we started treating the whole field. Like,
what's this guy doing?
Touch with this kid in a week, we want to see them. We want to clear their emotional field. The effect was just undeniably effective. Every time you cleared
no way.
The emotional field was felt by the kid improved. And so what I started to realize is these kids, because they are a wide open antenna that cannot damp themselves down, they don't have the filters that would allow them to survive in an abstract, fake environment that's artificial through and through. They cannot do it.
Oh, where are you, bruh?
And now they're feeling what those native cultures must have felt when Europeans showed up for the first time. Neurologic systems that are wide open, that suddenly see an abstract human being
there.
Will collapse its own biology.
Come on.
And so the same thing that our autistic are showing today, I believe is very similar to what it must have felt like to be an Inca or Mayan in your habitat and suddenly see the field disrupted.
Come on, I really don't want to play no. I really want to play no one, y'all.
Signal that just broke the whole field.
Fuck!
So we have stories about floods.
I really don't want to play another fucking game,
bro. It's a physical, wave of water that came over. Is it possible that the flood was actually a neurologic experience of overwhelm that wiped out the entire memory bank? Did we do that when a sector of
Come on, bro! What the fuck are you doing? Why are you behind me, you fucking idiot?
Was there an original
I don't think it has. They're mutually exclusive.
Okay, now we have connection issues.
Physical evidence that the.
What the fuck is this jerk off behind me? You fucking dummy.
There's water. I agree, water goes up and down. I agree that there's massive floods. But when we talk about the Inca and the Aztec, there was no flood at that time.
Let's go.
Really
Let's fucking go.
One
more goal, please. One more. I don't want to play fucking overtime.
So in that case,
I don't want to play overtime, bro. Let's go.
Not just the diseases, but just the fact that they were there. And these people, they're marauders. These people are coming in on horseback. They have muskets.
They think they've been kicked out of nature for 1,000 years. They're terrified.
And they're cutting people's arms off if they don't give them their weight in gold.
Yeah. They're breaking the field.
Yeah, you've read some of the depictions. There was was it a?
Oh, come on, bro.
A bishop or someone traveled with some religious person traveled with Columbus's first crew and wrote these horrific depictions of what they did to the native people that they found.
Come on.
They found that these people had gold, that they demanded their weight in gold.
Let's go. Let's fucking go.
Dashing babies.
Let's fucking go.
They were horrific stuff. I forget the guy who it was, but it was some religious figure who traveled.
Stop. Don't be toxic.
Bartolome de las Casas. So he was a Spanish lawyer, clergyman, writer, and activist, best known for his work as a historian and social reformer. So this is the guy. And so he
oh my God, bro.
Recorded what the Spanish settlers did. He described and rallied against the atrocities committed by the conquistadors against the indigenous people, arriving as one of the first Spanish settlers in America. Los Casas initially participated in the colonial economy built on forced indigenous labor, but eventually felt compelled to oppose the
Thank
abuses
God, I
committed
did
by
not
the
want to
white
have to fucking
colonists
play
against the indigenous
overtime.
population. So he's one of the reasons why we know that we probably shouldn't be celebrating Columbus Day. Probably wasn't a great guy.
No.
Yeah.
And I wish it was distant history, but
No.
it's still,
Yes.
the cartels
Yeah,
are still doing
buddy.
that down throughout this whole region that we're talking about, and
Uh-huh.
they're still beheading people with
Uh-huh.
machetes, and they're still at this, and we as the United States have killed more people than any other peoples in history.
Hell yeah,
We have
yeah.
been a machine
America
of
has
death
been
for
the
torture
worst.
like none other.
Crazy.
We've done it in the name of freedom. We've done it
Yeah.
in the name of, our God
Peace.
is better than your God. And so we have used these altruistic
Fucking sick, bro. America's
shields
sick.
to become the biggest death machine in the world. An incredible medical paper was published just recently in The Lancet, and it looked at the number of global deaths from just U.S. economic sanctions over the last 40 years. And the number was around 35 million people dead. 35 million people dead, not with a single tank, not with a single plane in the air, not a single drone, from economic sanctions. And so when we keep telling ourselves that we need money for our own health, for our own houses, we need healthcare insurance, therefore we need money. The assurance of health will never come from a company that doesn't care about you. It will always come from biology. It will always come from an earth that allowed you to conceive in your mother's womb.
Wow.
We're in a very perverted system. If the health
To say the least.
dependent upon these organizations whose primary focus is to make the most money possible. And then recommend to you drugs that you absolutely don't need, and then hide studies that these drugs are damaging to you.
And only give you the ones that are fucking. The one that's that successful is the one they publish.
Yeah, well, it makes sense that, the old
Sick.
adage, money is the root of all evil. When did that get written? Who wrote that?
Right.
Who quotes that from? I know that quote so well, I have no idea who wrote it. Do you have any idea?
That's the oldest adage in politics.
I wonder who's credited with that.
God.
They probably stole it from somebody else. Does it say? The Bible.
Yep.
There
Told you. It wasn't God, but who was it? Judas?
Wow.
Probably Job.
There you go.
So that would have been Aramaic.
Yeah.
Timothy was speaking Aramaic.
Wow.
So Aramaic was a critical language that has been forgotten in of New Testament, Old Testament.
As well.
Most of it is written or spoken in Aramaic, not Hebrew or not Greek.
The Dead Sea Scrolls.
That's so crazy, bro. The Bible, bro.
The Dead Sea Scrolls are bananas.
And if you look at the language of
Fucking
Aramaic,
Bible,
you're
bro.
getting a layer or two back from abstraction, where there's actually shape to those that are actually translated.
Looking at that written language as well, that's really compelling.
Your antenna's up.
Yeah, especially like old languages. There's something about like old Hindu. You look at like ancient Hindu scripts.
Even Arabic.
Arabic too.
Yes,
Farsi gives me goosebumps. When I read Farsi, when you look at a Rumi poem written in Farsi, you realize he wasn't transmitting a poem. He has so much mathematical truth in a thing that's in the form. He's telling you geometry. He's telling you sacred geometry, the fabric of the universe, in the form of a language that is not symbolic. It's a true depiction of information.
It really is interesting
that
embodied these ancient languages are so beautiful. Ancient Hebrew is another one. It's beautiful. You look at it, like, this is wild to look at, And then when you find out that ancient Hebrew, they didn't have numbers, so the letters doubled as numbers.
Yeah.
And so there was actually numerical value in words that were missing. Like when the translations got to Latin and Greek and eventually English, like we lost what they were trying. There was something that they were saying that
we can never.
Knew. There was
yeah,
more
context. We can never fucking. We'll never know.
You're talking about a bush. You're talking about a tree. You're talking about a lake. No, there's something to it. It's really, really interesting stuff. Because it's like, why did language get less complex as it got more recent? That seems strange.
It got more symbolic.
So
it wasn't necessarily the complexity that was the problem. It was that it separated itself from the actual information. So now the word tree is a symbol of something that actually has never been a noun. So now we have a word that has no movement in it. It's a noun. It does not express movement, and we now assess 60% of the surface of the earth as a non-living, non-moving thing called a tree.
Huh.
Whereas all native cultures, when you ask them what is that, they will use a verb. And so what they're saying is that is treeing. That's treeing. That's treeing.
Really?
Nothing
get
is
it.
verbs. All
I don't get
verbs. English was the first language to come around and characterize everything as a noun. And that's why it became the language of science, is because science broke its relationship to motion. It wanted to be static, therefore studyable, therefore we could control its variables. And so every time somebody shows you a cancer study, shows you a cardiovascular disease study, I did this for years. I've got peer-reviewed science, everything else. I was literally having to break every element of nature so that I could prove that my protein, COOP-TF1, was the most important thing for cancer. I had to break every relationship to nature that cancer cell could possibly have before I could study that protein. And so everything that we call trust the science these days is an aberration, is a symbol of life. It is not life itself. And so science itself has become this noun-structured belief system that has no flow in it. There's no verbing happening in science. There's a bacteria, there's a mitochondria, there's a human cell, and we think of those as three different things. No, it is lifing. And what it's doing is finding more and more ways to stack complexity to get more and more light concentrated per cubic centimeter. And everything is in one relationship. There is no tree, human thing. There's life doing biosis. Interconnected relationships. And this is getting very fun now, is that we actually got the science now to prove that we were wrong. And so we think, okay, here's human DNA, double helix, Watson and Crick. This is Bible of the biologic kingdom now. Everything comes from DNA, and human DNA is much better than bacterial DNA. Bacteria just have little circle loops of DNA. We have this beautiful spiraling double helix. This has got to be the best in the land. But then we start in 1992, we set out to decode the human genome. And we thought, well, this is going to be amazing. It's going to be a 40-year project, because we knew how many genes we could decode each year with our genetic sequencers. So we thought we were going to have to find 400,000 genes, because we knew by this time that we had 400,000 different proteins in the human body. So we were like, well, we need to find a gene for each of those, because we knew that a gene made an RNA that then made a protein. We knew how it worked. Watson Crick started us off. 1996 rolls around, and the team finishes 25 years ahead of schedule, because there were not 400,000 genes.
25 years.
There was 25,000 genes. Everybody laughed, said, you screwed it up. 3 more teams finished over the next 2 years. The first team was wrong. There was not 25,000 genes. There was 19,000 genes. They miscounted because they dual counted some of them. We have less than 20,000 human genes that make a human body. The reason why that's so embarrassing is because a flea has 30,000 genes. A fruit fly has 13,000 genes. So you sit somewhere between a flea and a fruit fly genetically.
Wow.
In fact, you're a little closer to the fruit fly than the flea. That's probably why the flea can jump 40 times its height and you can't.
Oh yeah, like an ant can pick up like 3 times its weight, 10 times its weight.
Level saying to be a species. So what is that DNA doing? There's so much DNA in the human. How can we have so few of that? How small of that information actually coding a genome? And it turns out the number is 1.5%. 1.5% of the DNA held inside of a human cell is actually coding for a gene. 98.5% we ended up calling junk DNA. It was called junk DNA for 25 years, until somebody started to realize that we were preserving our junk DNA more carefully and that to our young than we were the genes. And so there's something super important being preserved by biology from generation to generation, all this junk DNA. What we now have found out is the mitochondria. Again, 200 mitochondria, many different species variants living inside a single human cell, change their genetic sequencing very rarely. And so you got a couple hundred different versions of a mitochondria sitting in a single human brain cell.
There we go. Nice.
Those, it turns out, are storing their genetic in the double helix of the human cell. And when you go and access inside the human nucleus the gene that is theirs for their own reproductive capacity, and pull an RNA out of that, come and decode a protein so they can reproduce every 2 days for your entire life. The mitochondria are storing their genes in the human cells. This doesn't fit the biologic map of Watson and Crick. You're starting to realize there's a expression in the antenna of being human. And that's what DNA ends up doing. Is it is actually an antenna system that's taking in information and then unwinding and rewinding to reveal different genetic sequences to all of the life within a human ecosystem. So we are now convinced genetically that it's impossible that a human is a species, else we'd be somewhere between a 3 and a 3 plus. The magic of being human is in the 98.5% of our DNA that doesn't code for human genes, but is likely coding for all of them.
I hope this grows, bro.
Genetically, is
we should leave it. I'm gonna cut
we
it.
are the
Fuck
life
it.
record. It is happening through us, in us, around us. Life is ascending through a biologic matrix that we call a body, but it is not a species, it's an ecosystem. And
what am I gonna do with you?
We started the antibiotic era, and we started wiping out the diversity inside of the human body. And so the toxicity of herbicides and pesticides have very little to do to their impact on a human cell. It has to do with the impact on the entire ecosystem that's expressing itself through this massive genomic library that is so big we can't even wrap our head around. If we strung you end to end, you've got around 50 to 70 trillion human cells. Each of those cells has about a meter of DNA bundled inside of every nucleus of every cell. If we strung you end to end, we could wrap Joe around the circumference of the planet right at the equator 2 million times. Your DNA wraps around planet Earth 2 million times. The amount of genetic information in there is plenty to hold a record and a code for all of life on Earth. It will not surprise me that in the coming years, we start to realize the entire code is here. We found out just recently that you could take the human genome and rearrange it into 178 puzzle pieces and spell pig perfectly.
What?
The genome is this warehouse of life of Earth. It's not belonging to a human species. And I believe that this is where we are going to really spend a lot of our new excitement around what it means to be human as we start to move into the next era. The antibiotic era is coming to an end. It's crippled our biology and our
it's not over?
We cannot continue it. Well, how do we become biologic again? We're going to end the chemical antibiotic era, and we're going to move into the biological renaissance. You talked a couple times about this moment of like remembering, like the renaissance that we can all point to: sudden explosion of math, science, art, massive, it doesn't make any sense what was happening 50 years before the Renaissance and then the Renaissance and what would happen in the next 200 years. It was a parametric explosion of creativity, of human capacity, creativity. Everything.
What does it coincide with?
Remembrance. The antenna opened up. And so this is the moment we're about to re-enter now.
Do you remember?
Renaissance. And it's happening in people like Dr. Ibrahim Karim out of Egypt. He's suddenly remembering the technology of the hieroglyphs. He's remembering the technology of waveform and its influence on biology. He's not in there inventing this stuff.
He's remembering it.
Him in cafes, and I'll say, well, what about this disease here? And he goes just for a split second into his antenna,
goes into his antenna. Okay, now you listen.
He's not producing this stuff. He's remembering this stuff.
That's wild.
The antenna is opening up on humankind right now.
Yes, that's the awakening.
Supercharged version of that.
That's the awakening. That's why we're ready to fucking know about all this shit. But they don't want to tell us about it, these fucking faggots.
Everything. A kid flies over New York once, can remember the entire scape.
That's crazy.
Is capable
that's crazy. Yeah, no, yeah. There you go.
Autistic children are not abnormally genius. They are minds that are unfiltered and bodies that are still in the context of
that's what Tourette's is, too.
They have not separated. When I sit with an indigenous elder, the Khoi people, the Khoi have been around for 300,000 years. They have an unbroken oral history for 100,000 years, with the exception of that blank point, 11,000 to 7,000 years ago. And so they also suffered the amnesia. But 100,000 years of an oral tradition is spectacular. It's twice as long as anything else on the planet. Aboriginal 40,000.
Do you remember?
40,000. Deep Peru 30,000. 100,000 years of information. You sit with one of these elders.
Joe's uninterrupted, so I think it's good.
The experiential traits that the autistic community has. They can go to the hill. They can communicate telepathically with the forest system. They can tell you what the panther is saying. They can tell you what the
What?
motorcycle is saying, not because they've studied it, because they're literally just listening to the information. They're receiving
That's
the
wrong.
information. This new renaissance is beginning is a biological reconnection that is going to be available to us. So much information that we're not going to sit here around listening to podcasts of wondering, scratching our heads about how did the pyramids.
We're gonna be too up in our thoughts.
Doing it again, because there's a cellular understanding of how water and carbon, how much work you can do instantaneously when you master the ability of the antenna of a human being to organize matter. The pyramids were not built, they were organized, if that makes sense. I believe that when you feel what's happening inside a pyramid, this was all an energetic expression. This is a frequency wavelength expression of something that was energetically
fucking watermelon, fucking toothpaste. Sounds good.
That is made by biology when it feels the whole field.
Right, but how? How do they put it together?
So the people that are remembering this, that are starting to feel what is this,
oh my god, it
they did it through mind.
Smells so good.
Through transmitting information into the natural materials. And so they would cut with their mind, with frequency, as a transmitter, to cut the stones, to organize stones, to move, anti-gravity, everything else.
Now you're
bringing this to everybody's attention all the time. These UAPs and everything else that are rushing around here, gravity only exists in one plane of reality here. And so there's anti-gravity experiences that are the process of waves interrupting the relationship between two bodies. That's gravity. So gravity is the distance plus the mass, or the mass squared plus the distance between or multiplied by the distance between the two bodies there. And so you need two bodies in a relationship to create the phenomenon of gravity. Not surprisingly, you can put a waveform between those two to interrupt that relationship.
Do you remember?
So when you start to think this way, then UAPs and your pyramids all start to make sense. We're so Newtonian in our current belief system. We've forgotten how to believe in quantum physics because we became so committed to the mechanical reality that Newton offered us. Newton said, this happens, therefore this happens. Everything is
every reaction is
action, reaction.
Yeah.
Maybe, or everything is creation. Is the right relationship between action and reaction actually polarity instead of one thing reacting to the other?
What do you think is fueling this current renaissance?
I think it's us getting to the breaking point of human neurology. We can no longer sustain the stories. It took so much energy for us to all believe the stories together. Everything you've ever talked about.
Now it's all bullshit.
Is pushing you. I don't even know if you know you're doing this. You are pushing the human neurology to its breaking point with every podcast. You're challenging the human mind.
Yeah, yo, you're challenging the fucking. Challenging the fucking.
Breaking minds.
Hell yeah.
That's why we love you.
There it is.
I have a great affection for all people who do this, and you're one of these people doing this. You are a breaker of false things. And you have
Alex Jones. Don't forget Alex Jones now. Don't forget Mr. Jones.
It just won't let you sit still.
This guy needs to go to fucking InfoWars.
I love this about you because this is why I was excited to come to your podcast, not so I could talk about anything, so I could feel you.
Gay?
I want to feel what this feels like. Because this has to be one of the most freaking curious motherfuckers on the planet. What a gift to sit in front of a curious human being.
Word.
There's nothing that feels better to a human neurology than sensing the other.
Word.
The impregnation that Dr. Ibrahim Karim mentioned there, that field effect of two fields that come into presence together and impregnate the other one. It's your curiosity that's got everybody paying attention.
Hell yeah.
We love it because you're not here to tell us you know everything. In fact, you keep the challenges that we don't know anything. We've said it 5 times on this, we don't know. It feels so good to a neurologist. We don't know.
Well, I also think many people are curious, and they also want to hear from other people that are curious as well, because we live in this weird world where
Joe, just take the fucking flowers, bro.
The people have short attention span.
Just take the fucking flowers, Joe.
Like your attention span can be hijacked by short attention span media, but it doesn't mean you have a short attention span. Most people that I know, if there's a thing that they like, if there's a thing that they're interested in, they have
They'll
immense
listen. Oh
attention.
yeah, of course.
Whether it's a sporting event or a
Video
concert
game.
they go to, there's a lot of things that you have a lot of attention for. It's just it has to actually resonate with you. And people love when other people are curious because they're curious.
Yeah,
Most people are
just like
curious.
how he likes when
Yeah.
somebody's doing something.
If you're not, there's something wrong.
You're not human.
Well, you're just blunted. Life has thrown you some curveballs, and you didn't know how to duck.
Oh, you can definitely turn a curiosity off into human, no question.
Yeah.
You just separate them from nature long enough.
And you drug them, you know.
That's just a symptom of nature deficit disorder, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, and I think that's why one of the best remedies for people that are depressed is physical
Mushrooms.
exercise.
Mushrooms.
Yeah, go out in nature.
Go hike it and camp for 7 days.
Do something that makes you feel alive, gets your blood pumping, because that's what's supposed to happen. That's how you're supposed to exist.
It's been shown 3 nights of camping outside, never go inside for 3 days. Your immune system reverts 30 years, your T cells turn back on, all your stem cells activate. We are living a blunted human experience because we separate ourselves from nature.
Did you ever watch the Werner Herzog documentary, Happy People?
No.
It's really fantastic. It's about these people that live in Siberia, and they're so happy. There's like no mental illness. And it's called Happy People, Life in the Taiga. So it's all these people that are off the Taiga River, and these people live a subsistence lifestyle. They hunt and they fish, and that's all they do. They ride around on snowmobiles. They build cabins. They live with their dogs.
Sounds like my life.
Yeah, it's quite fascinating because these people don't have any mental illness. They're all happy.
Oh yeah, it's the Amish.
They're all laughing. They get together. They drink and they have parties and they eat food together and they're laughing, and then they go about their work and then they exist completely embedded in nature. They are nature. They're a part of it.
Do you remember?
They're creating.
They're living.
They're creating.
They're living. Zach, this was awesome. This was really fascinating. We got to do this again.
Can I show you a picture of how we got here?
Oh yeah, show me a picture of how we got here.
All right.
Yeah, cameras there?
I want to go to that next slide because it's going to orient us to like what's actually happening to humankind right now.
Okay.
And so we have established clearly that nature's the context of a connected, interconnected life. And so, can you go back one slide? Oh yeah, that one will work. Yeah, sorry, go ahead with that one. And so this is looking at the effect of glyphosate on ATP, which is energy production per cubic centimeter. And so this is looking at that.
You down with
and
ATP?
This is vehicle meaning control. And so you're producing about 1,600 picomoles per milligram of ATP. These are the mitochondria turning carbon chains of carbohydrates and fatty acids back into light energy.
Ass to pussy.
And so you've got this massive energy.
Or I give you that PTA, pussy to the ass.
This 1 part per million.
I'm good on that ass part.
A common amount that you would see in a lot of your chemical farmed food systems. We've seen this all the way down to 10 parts per billion, which is 1,000 times smaller quantity here. And so at these levels, though, you see a sudden collapse of the ATP production. And so now in 1976, we start eating food with residues of this chemical. And suddenly we shut down light per cubic centimeter.
Yeah, he's doing it. Fucking idiot. What a fucking
And so I'm going to show you on a population scale of billions of people what happens when you start to undermine the light per cubic centimeter.
People fucking still put their money on their forum.
4 years after introduction.
Not like it was cool then.
From there, you end up seeing the collapse of the metabolism that we call diabetes. Diabetes is a condition
just jump on this, jump on it,
from the obesity in the liver. Obesity is not
because
you're eating too many calories. It's because the calories can no longer be burned.
Is there a fucking?
Which is where they should be. So obesity happens when you're eating 2,000, 3,000 calories a day and can only burn 1,500 calories.
2 days. 3,000 is like the diet.
Product that's killing the bacteria in the soil, just as they're killing the bacteria inside your cells, which are mitochondria. And so as we started seeing these increasing levels of glyphosate heading through the system, you end up with diabetes within a few years because fat
$15, bro. You can't really go wrong.
gets redirected to
Does it have the fucking slits in the back?
Ultimately, you get insulin resistance. As you get insulin resistance, the insulin cannot get the carbohydrates into the cell anyways, and so now you're starving twice. You can't put it at the mitochondrial level, and you can't get the sugar there. By the 1990s, we started to develop widespread allergies. The most energy-demanding system in the body is the immune system. As the immune system started to fail in its metabolic capacity, relationships started to fail. And we suddenly started to develop a reactive
I
relationship
don't
to
want
the foods
the
we were eating.
stitching on the
Wheat in
fucking.
1992 starts
Why
causing a
the
massive
fuck
allergy
is
to
it not
gluten.
stuff on the side?
And the gliadin compound in
Like
there
this one?
interacts with glyphosate to synergistically fracture this metabolic capacity. We don't have
That one
gluten
has
sensitivity. We have a metabolic collapse that's called glyphosate poisoning. I'll show you the
smells
very good science
awesome.
we published from that.
That
Within a
that
couple
one's
years of
doing
allergy,
Cooper. Who
which
the
is
fuck is Cooper?
basically overwhelm of the immune system to your environment, you ultimately end up with autoimmune disease. This is where your body no longer can sense what's outside and what's inside, and your body becomes the
I had
enemy.
that same fucking
So
car.
autoimmune disease is a steady destruction of your own body by
Oh,
your
this
own
guy
immune
put his
system
whole
that can't
fucking
protect
car
you.
collection on the
You
motherfucking
lose
thing.
cellular identity.
You must think that you
Within a
guys are
couple
good or
years of that,
something.
we developed
These guys
neurologic
are fucking
conditions like
ass.
ADHD and autism in our children, Alzheimer's and Parkinson's in our adults, as well as MS, ALS, and all the other neurologic degenerative conditions in the middle. In a 2-year period, they all went logarithmic. By the early 2000s, we're starting to realize we're in the middle of a cancer epidemic. This is when I was at the University of Virginia.
Google tops Europa League
Cancer epidemic
featuring
launched
FC
in its first reality
Nordjylland
chemotherapy in
forward
bone marrow late
Ibrahim
2000, late
Osman
2000s and
Merlin
2002s,
card.
prostate cancer, breast cancer, colon cancer, all of them going logarithmic. And so just this explosion of cancer. And that's not because there was more carcinogens around. It's because there was
Say
less
that. What the
light.
fuck
There
is
was
a
less
mouthful?
light per cubic centimeter. So every time we go down this ladder, we're seeing less metabolic capacity, less light per cubic centimeter. By the early 2010s, we see this collapse of fertility around the world. Today, 110 countries around the world are below the fertility rate necessary for replacement.
Siri.
110 countries below.
Google tops Europa League featuring FC Nordjylland forward Ibrahim Osman Merlin card.
Genomic instability starts to occur. So these are things like methylation defects, and we can no longer detox the body. So we develop stories about Lyme disease and all these conditions and infections when in fact it's just toxicity that can no longer escape the body because we don't have the repair and detox mechanisms there because the metabolism, the light energy per cubic centimeter is diminishing. Finally, we see the emergence of gender dysregulation happening in the womb. And so this has probably started in pockets around the world a couple decades ago, but by the 2010s, mid-15s, we see this happening regularly. And what's happening here is the biology is staying at neutral. Every fetus ever developed in the womb of a woman starts at neutral, neither male nor female.
Jesus.
It starts at neutral, and then around 90
Get
days
here,
of embryologic
girl.
development,
That
it
dude
requires an
suck
explosion
on
of
my
energy from the
penis.
mitochondria within it. And it takes
Now
about
you
90
become a
days really
genius.
not to do anything
No
human, but
money
you're growing the
necessary.
garden. You're
I
growing
gave you
the
free
protein garden
education,
inside the
like
human
financial
to get ready
aid,
for this massive
without
energy
no
discharge that's going to polarize the biology to
messy
become male or
baby.
female. So to
Oh
move from
shit.
neutral to
Turn
male
your
or
little
neutral
girl
to
to a
female
lady.
requires this huge
She
energetic
once said I
signal.
never had it like
So the
that. I
first
said you're
time of the
welcome.
90 days in the womb,
You
there's
can
a
call
woman
me
that has this late
lady.
phase in utero, and then there's a
God's
more
sake,
typical one you
Lee.
see around 4 or 5 years old,
We
where you start to see
she
differentiations,
fucked
and there's
around and made a
boys and there's
baby.
girls, and then
I
there's
told her it
classic
couldn't
one
be
around
me.
11 to 13 years
I
old,
only
and then another
fucked
one
your
around
mouth.
18 to
Can't
21,
get a
and then a
baby.
final burst that happens in your late
Oh
20s.
shit,
So we
she
go through
said
all
you're
of these
right.
huge energetic
I said I know,
discharges
bitch. I
that
went to
create polarity
science class.
that move you
I
away from neutral
know.
to one or the other
Alright.
of the sexes. And this isn't like sex as a preference. This is literal neurologic
This is
distortion.
neurologic
This
to
is
your
the neurology
brain.
of the deep brain
Go
that
ahead, say something
dictates the rates
stupid.
of
Matter of fact,
you
say it
becoming
again.
male traits, female
You don't
traits.
know shit
If you've
about the
ever had two
brain.
kids,
I'm a
or you've got children, I've
neuroscientist.
got a daughter and a son,
Go
they're both
ahead,
adults and they're
surgery is
married and
going
have children,
on.
but
Now be quiet,
when
bitch.
you watch a kid develop this
Silences.
unbelievable
Oh my
muscle
gosh,
reproduction,
this guy put every
the
card
male
known to
traits that
man,
occur by the
even
time
if
they're
it's
6 months, 9 months old, they're doing something different than their sister did at that same phase. So
Smith
we're talking about
Jr.
this deep reprogramming of the biology as it goes away from center.
Tops,
And
Switch,
by the
Stitch,
time we get this
Relics,
much further
Jalen
into the
Smith
system,
Jr.
in this
patch
time
card.
cascade of
Google.
1976 to 2020, you're looking at this yellow line that's traveling up there. That's the amount of glyphosate sprayed into the
Google
ground right now
Tops,
to be able to grow
Switch,
3 billion
Stitch, Relics, Jalen
pounds of
Smith
glyphosate
Jr.
per million
patch
pounds of
card.
cells.
Red.
So it's
38 out of
you think
50.
it's disgusting, but this is unbelievable amount of antibiotic. That much antibiotic has reduced the metabolic life
There it
force
is.
of our planet and our species to the point
$6.
where we have a chronic disease explosion by the
$6
1990s.
going
We're potentially the last
for
of the species and then gender dysregulation.
20
So this is
bucks.
how
No,
a species
bitch.
goes extinct, is
No,
loses
bitch.
its metabolic capacity to
You're
concentrate
supposed to
energy.
not know about the cards,
Light
lady.
per cubic centimeter is how
You're
life
supposed to be able
occurs.
to get taken
What
advantage of.
causes is the interconnected relationships that make life possible.
Fuck.
You undermine those relationships, you decrease the number of relationships per cubic centimeter, those causes pattern evolving of it decreasing and impaired regeneration.
Bro,
And so your
fuck.
rate of repair versus your rate
I
of
just
injury
looked at the card.
suddenly goes out of whack. And a previous rate of injury of eating bread, gluten has a slight impact on your gut behavior.
Google Topps Swish Stitch Relics Jalen Smith Jr. patch card.
The whole thing starts to degrade. So I've spent the last 15 years of my life building systems with people around us that are already
Building
tuned into this bigger
systems.
antenna to say, what does biology look
Man,
like?
fuck your antenna.
So we've created these online programs called Journey, which is journeying humanity back into natural systems to fully support not only the biology and the way it repairs and regenerates, but fully open up the antenna to remember what we were supposed to be doing here, to remember what it feels like to be between heaven and earth.
Alright, bro, drop that mic, though.
Stew of
drop the mic.
Creativity, productivity. That's what's going to make humans humans again. It's when we allow our children to become between again and start to stop being programmed into machine-like behavior and start to open up their antenna. We can decide to do that as a society and proactively go about this, or autism will emerge to the point where 1 in 3 children will have autism by 2035, and we do this anyways. We are going to develop a neurology to escape our mechanical history, our
Larry Birds.
Nature is going to come.
Look at the. Oh, that's not what oh no, never mind.
She's going to reinvent herself.
Liam McKinley.
Pushing on her
oh, he's definitely Jewish.
Right now, human behavior is pushing on nature. If we stop doing that and we let nature come back in, we get to be part of the solution. We become part of it.
Yeah, it's a big if, buddy. It's a
species.
big if, dude.
If people want to see more of this and they want to read more about what is your website?
Zach Bush MD is the website. And
Zach Bush,
elegance, and you're going to only find it there. We're not
Mr. Bush.
We're not asking anybody to go after money or abstract systems. We're asking for engagement. I don't want followers. I want builders. I want creators. I want the co-creators that are going to come build this new world with us. This is my passion. I think you're doing a great job pushing us there.
Well, thank you. And I know you're going to get a lot of people that check this out now. I'm very excited. It was a fun conversation. Let's definitely do another one.
I look forward to it.
All right. Thank you very much.
How fun was it? You pick your set. What does that even mean? You pick your set. The 25-26 Topps Chrome Basketball Inspiration insert in the song.
Stream hit movies and TV shows on YouTube.
Whether you're looking to complete a set or add a special piece to your umbrella, these covers offer a glimpse into the man. Well, this original insert from my department. Oh yeah, what's this guy's actually selling?
What the fuck? Get in. Put your hands up. I ain't gonna fucking ask you again.
You might have to. You talk like that.
Fuck lie to me. What are you reaching for? He's got a gun.
For my bitch. Oh shit.
I'm gonna tell you what, man. We're gonna do a quick nut shot. Right? Unfortunately. Now, if I find it, they promise. We always like to come through these hotels because people are always doing some bullshit over here. You, sir, are under arrest.
They know it. They know what to tell you, everybody. Don't do what they tell you anymore.
In the country, and to end up here, you have to get arrested by a Clayton County sheriff. Today we ride shotgun and see the streets through law enforcement's point of view. We'll encounter machine guns, high-speed chases, drug busts, and more, because here in this town, anything can happen.
So the brothers.
Alright folks, we are back in Clayton County, Georgia, just outside of Clayton County Jail. And this time we are doing a police ride-along. The guys that we're riding are high-activity, hands-on guys that can do pit maneuvers, guys that do high arrest volume, guys that really get active out in the field, which is what I'm about. I'm excited to check this out from a different point of view in Clayton County. Interested to see what kind of action we get into tonight. The guys are doing a brief,
Action.
and then we're gonna get rolling. How was this week inside?
Same thing. It's always rough in there, so we just deal with it how we deal with it.
I bet you do. I bet it is rough in there when you get fucked in the closet.
People to jail. How are things on the street on Clayton County?
Me personally, I feel like how it is in the jail is how it is on the street for real. Basically, the same people that we bring in that's acting a fool, that's exactly how they act inside the jail.
Are you guys seeing a lot of the same customers come through?
So I shit to her people.
If they did it one time, they'll do it again, basically.
Friday night. You feel like
So you're trying to say the recidivism rate is fucked, huh?
Probably so. Stay safe.
The
Stay behind the
recidivism.
cops, basically.
So essentially what we're doing is we're going to target our known narcotics areas at the gas stations and hotels because it's Friday, so everyone's going to go try to go out.
What drugs
Wow.
are the biggest right now in town?
Probably weed and MDMA and crack is what we're seeing the
Fucking
most.
weed, bro.
A lot. We did a stop yesterday. We had some, how much was it?
Fucking weed, bro. Asshole.
Molly / fentanyl mixed in Georgia. If you get caught with 4 grams or more of any opiate, then it's automatically a trafficking charge. We have a lot of drugs in Clayton County that we deal with.
What are you guys predicting for tonight?
Sounds about right.
Lots of drugs,
Trafficking.
lots of guns, maybe a couple car chases. Yeah, they don't have a high chance of getting away tonight, so it's not gonna happen.
Are they not terrified to get sent to the fucking dungeon?
A lot of people that we arrest is just honestly worth the risk.
Strickland, are you coming out? Okay, I can't hear you, but I'm gonna trust that you're coming. Okay, so we're here with the beloved character of the channel, Sergeant Strickland.
Lieutenant, man.
He got upgraded
Lieutenant
again.
now, man. Lieutenant, yes sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
With how crazy the conditions are in Clayton County Jail, do you think it deters people outside from committing crimes?
No, they think they have a chance. They think they got a fair chance to get money and don't think they won't be caught. They will be caught.
We're always rooting for you, and we're gonna come back and do another jail one. I don't know when, but you know you're our guy when we come here for that.
You know it, man.
So,
you know it.
all right, brother.
Hey, subscribe. Tommy G, man. Hey, make sure they good, man.
Can you introduce yourself to the people?
Oh, where does she go?
I'm the back commander at the sheriff's office.
Back
How long you been doing this for? Since
2018.
Would you say this is a tough job?
Yeah.
You guys roll deep around here, dude.
You got to, man.
What percentage of the guys you think we're gonna encounter out there are carrying a firearm?
Over 50. The ones that we're gonna encounter that are actually moving up and selling dope are 90% of the time they're gonna have a firearm. We get a lot of shootings that are dope deals gone wrong, and that's why we hit them so hard. You'll notice when we pull into a place and there's people outside, they're gonna start to walk away and move, or if there's someone outside with a bag and we pull in and they go inside when they see us, they're gonna try to avoid us.
So what's the approach right now? Like, are you hopping on foot, talking to people?
Yeah, we're gonna hop out.
So you guys normally kind of roll as a unit? You have 2, 3, 4 guys?
Yeah. We don't go out and be by ourselves or anything like that. We always stay tight.
Because you never want to be outgunned.
Yeah, for sure. You know, you could stop a car and there's 5, 6 people in there and they've all got guns, so. If we do have a vehicle take off tonight, then I'll probably be the one showing you that myself because I'm one of the people here who is certified to pick cars. But I'm Lieutenant Toombs, the commander of the Cobra unit. My unit is the primary crime suppression unit for the Clayton County Sheriff's Office. So our job primarily is to get out here, go into these areas where the police department doesn't really have time to go to because they're answering calls most of the time. Go to these places where these drug dealers are lingering and loitering around, selling drugs, where people are prostituting, where people are committing armed robberies and other very serious felonious crimes. We go to those areas. We like interacting with these people.
And what got this unit named Cobra?
Because when it comes down to dealing with crime, we can strike that shit head on. Ultima, North Carolina tags right here. He's not getting gas.
Oh, yeah.
We come into the gas stations, right?
What?
A lot of times when they're sitting at the gas stations with the no loitering, once you've conducted your business, you gotta leave. You can't be sitting in your car at a pump, you know, they're waiting to meet somebody to purchase. Anytime you have
This motherfucker took my goddamn
it's
boost.
not saying that they're committing a crime, but that's kind of odd a lot of times when someone's just sitting there if you don't see them clearly doing business. The reason we're making contact with you is because we see you just sitting there. You ain't getting gas or nothing. Do you have anything to show that you just did any business here? Yeah, stand by.
Come on.
This gold Nissan here, did he just get gas? He did. Okay.
Wow, what the fuck is cop doing the most, bro? Why are you gonna ask the gas attendant if he's getting gas? Like, what type of shit is that? And if he didn't, what? And what if I didn't, officer? What?
He did. Yeah, they said he got gas, but
And
they
if I
said
didn't,
he got
what?
marijuana coming from the car.
Fucking
We're about
bitch.
to check and make sure he doesn't have any other drugs in the vehicle. If it's a little bit of marijuana, even though it's still illegal in Georgia, we don't mind having them stump a little bit of weed out. We don't care about a little tiny amount of weed.
Yeah, right. You say that shit, bro. Fuck that, bro. Fucking ass. If you want a little bit of weed, fuck out of here, you fucking liar.
It's time to go to jail, so he might go in there and pull out something that we don't know he have in there.
Fucking lying sack of shit.
So we got an
I got locked up for, first of all, wasn't even my shit. Fucking, I swear to God, wasn't my shit. A, and B, fucking.
Having a shit ton of dope on him right now, but people who are just smoking marijuana usually aren't gonna have all
Oh my God.
packages of dope right here. Some kind of pills, but
My bad, guys. I thought the guy was gonna go for it.
Love to see these.
My bad, guys. I thought the guy was gonna go for it. It messed me up.
5 years. What'd you go prison for? A robbery? Okay.
So you know that any little thing can violate your shit. You know that.
Are you on parole? No, no papers.
Stay off the bullshit. Alright, pour that out, stump it out.
Oh shit.
Alright, man, you're good to go.
Doing 5 years, how hard is it to come out and get a job?
It's just hard, period, you know what I'm saying, being a black man in America. Plus, I'm a player, so, you know what I'm saying, like, it's hard working for anybody anyway, you know what I'm saying.
And Georgia prisons are crazy.
Yeah, more definitely.
Like, to me, I wouldn't even jaywalk in this area.
Nah. I got arrested like a year ago for jaywalking.
Did you let off? Good to go?
Good to go.
Fuck!
Shit, I feel good, goddamn. I just ran into you, man, big dog, goddamn, you know what I'm saying. This is a good old interview right here. But I appreciate them for letting me start the weed out, though, you feel what I'm saying? That would have been a hell of a day, man, you know what I'm saying? And I ain't never been to Clayco jail.
This situation right here is a perfect example of cops aren't just out here looking to jam people up for the dumbest shit, especially in Clayton County. But all we ask is for honesty. Because if you make us work for that little ass amount of weed and you lie to us, then you're going to fucking jail. I want to see this guy do better. I don't know him, but I want to see him do better from whatever his past was. I don't want people to be judged by their past if they're trying to do better.
So you have spidey sense. He was here for like 1 second before you honed in on him.
When I see vehicles that are sitting at pumps and they're not actively getting gas, it's a sign.
It just seems like there's a certain mentality where no matter what, there's a certain group of guys that they will always do the hustling route rather than get any sort of 9-to-5 paper job. Why do you think that is?
I think a lot of it has to do if they've been doing that for so long, or the area that they grew up in, that's all they know. Again, you're sitting at the pump, you're not getting gas. You could be on your phone, you could not be, but you're still violating county ordinance.
So if guys are scrolling,
soliciting?
Yeah.
Bravo, Foxtrot.
What you looking for, man? Your ID? Oh, you just had it? Were you getting gas, or were you... Okay. Any weapons in the car? Anything, any marijuana in the car? Nothing like that? Okay. You sure? Nothing illegal in the vehicle at all? That's not illegal. But is anything illegal in the car? Any MDMA, ecstasy, beans?
I want some fucking E.
Would you mind if I looked in your car? You mind hopping out for me? I got consent here. Where are you going?
You alright? About to fall out or come
Yeah,
on,
you can leave your bag in the car, man.
Clayton County Jail is crazy.
Nice shot.
Anyone would be nervous once they get stopped by Clayton County Police. Number two, what is the probable cause?
We don't actually have to have probable cause for us to interact with someone. As we started,
Yeah, you do. That's crazy.
Into the conversation, as we're talking to this gentleman, his story just was not adding up at all.
What do you mean? Is that your probable cause?
A set of facts
Hit that.
That will lead a prudent officer to believe that criminal activity may be afoot.
So you can box somebody in if they're just scrolling on their phone and they're not immediately pumping gas?
Deputy Rambo pulled up, and it wasn't something that was orchestrated.
Give that. Yeah.
Be told to pull up and block a man. He just pulled up.
Oh, bingo.
Let's go.
Hey, 16. What happened? You know what's happened? Nope. That's why he was breathing so hard. Powder. He got his little toot in here. Yeah.
What you got on me? A little bit, okay.
Now, does this look like personal use or a seller?
No, personal use.
And how do you guys factor that into taking to jail or not taking?
If you have cocaine, you go to jail.
Okay. What is the law in Georgia about weed?
Anything less than an ounce, under 28 grams, is a misdemeanor.
Oh! Oh, I was right there, too.
So a lot of times if you find a guy with just...
I was right there, boy.
You know, it's a misdemeanor charge, as long as they're honest, they cooperate.
We're going to continue searching the vehicle first to confirm that there's nothing else in here.
Damn, bro. Word? How you feel?
We got a bunch of syringes.
A lot of people they come up with this flabbergasted ass story. Oh, I'm here hanging out. Oh, I'm here to get gas. I was just about to do this. I was just about to do that.
Bro, get fucking in my way.
I was just about to do something. Go after that heavy looking at going to jail for cocaine for sure.
Mine.
So this area
Fuck.
we're coming into right now, the Southside Commercial is an area where you have a lot of narcotic sales, prostitution, and other things that go on here.
Come on, Boost.
Keep the pressure on the people.
Oh my God, there we go.
We go. Yeah, this is where the sales are going down.
Fucking go.
Hey, how you doing?
Me and some friends, that's all.
Hey, we're just driving around doing a patrol. Do you guys have a room here?
I'm waiting on my husband to pull up so I can stay here tonight. What's going on?
Okay. Oh, no, I was just saying.
Oh man, black girl be like, what's going on? What you need?
Has a room here, you know.
A woman can kill your ass just as quick as a man can kill you.
Oh, whoa, what is this?
Don't get it mistaken. But at the same time, when it comes to us dealing with these citizens out here, I think you need to be able to use your judgment to gauge whether you feel something is worth actually trying to do more into that or not.
So I'm curious your guys' take. Some people will say, hey, look, this is a little over the top. You're coming in hot. There's not a lot of stuff.
Coming in hot.
Why are you bothering people? But then other people will say, hey, look, this is a high crime area. We want you to be doing this so that we don't have shootings. We don't have murders. We don't have worse things happening. And that's
coming in hot. Coming in hot.
Is in a nutshell. And that's becoming the template, standard operating procedure for police departments around the country. I'm curious what your take is on this style of policing.
Where did you grow up? So I'm originally from Miami, Liberty City, Pork and Beans Project, 62nd and 2nd.
You said Pork and Beans Projects?
The majority of my childhood and early adulthood in Atlanta. We moved to Atlanta, we moved to Harris Homes, which was some projects over by Morehouse College. And then we ended up moving away from there once they tore them down. And we moved over to Fairburn Road in southwest Atlanta. They call it the SWATs. That's the area that we moved to, which is fucking rough as fuck, man.
How was your home life growing up?
As normal as you really could say. When we were kids, my siblings and I, we didn't experience mom and dad arguing or fighting or my dad being abusive to my mom. We didn't experience that. I'm thankful that I grew up in that kind of household, but of course, we weren't rich. Grew up just like any other families where we.
I get the same shit. That's hilarious, bro. My man wants $40 for that shit.
Out of
And he got an offer.
Being able to live a better life and provide a little bit more for us.
Do you feel like a lot of these issues you see in the city stem from growing up in a one
household?
Oh, absolutely. The black community needs to come together and
That's
eradicate this shit. We can eradicate this shit overnight if we oust these clowns out of our communities that are committing these violent acts. We need these community leaders to be working closely, hand in hand.
Yeah, well, the OGs, you guys fucked around. You guys fucked them up.
Invest money politically toward so many other agendas that isn't going to help in total. It blows my mind, man.
We got an alert over the radio for a high-speed chase in which a man on a
high-speed chase with the law. Realest motherfucker that you ever saw.
The sheriffs immediately gunned it for the highway to pursue the suspect.
No, but you got people like fucking Tupac that are fucking psychologically fucking put into the public to fucking fuck up society.
So they should almost be up here in Forest Parkway now.
What's going through your head?
I just want to catch this bastard. At speed, we're not going to do that unless the guy's a murderer or something like that.
We're not too far away, so hopefully we can...
High-speed chase with the law. Realest motherfucker that you ever saw.
think this one has quesadillas. I can fuck up a quesadilla.
Yeah.
Quesadillas nuts.
Yeah.
What you eat, Miguel?
Look at that. And you got a juice bar up in this thing.
And that thing guy?
Hot dogs, wings, and bacon. It's street food.
Oh,
So they got
wow.
tacos. That works.
Oh, stop chasing the guy, bro.
So he's gonna blow around.
Oh my god, he took my fucking...
In 60 seconds, you are going to witness...
Oh my lord.
Let me tell you about the sponsor of today's video. Folks,
I get a boost?
My producer, Keegan, and he doesn't want some of you sketchy people calling him on the same phone that he uses to call his mom and girlfriend, so he got a second line with Mint Mobile, and here's how it's been going for him.
It took me minutes to set up, all online, no store, and I used a phone I already had. We had signal everywhere that Tommy brought us, even to South Dakota. And it's only $15 a month, so our tip line stays up and running.
Folks, $15 a month is actually kind of a crazy deal. As I was saying, folks, that's Mint Mobile Summer Promo. You can pick 3, 6, or 12 months of premium wireless for $15 a month. Any plan, even unlimited.
Get in there, bitch.
Unlimited talk or text on the nation's largest 5G network. That's 5G coverage for 98% of Americans. Free calls to Mexico.
Yo, who's ever following whoever, don't do that.
So you pay for what you actually use. And folks, switching is easy. No stores, no salespeople, and no hassle. Folks, you keep your number and you can activate with an eSIM within minutes. And if it's not for you, every plan comes with a 7-day money-back guarantee, so it is risk-free. Again, that's Mint Mobile for $15 a month at any plan, even unlimited. Use the link below to get started at mintmobile.com/TommyG. All right, folks, let's see this high-speed chase.
What are you doing? What the fuck? Yo, what are you doing? And also, stop following each other. I don't know who's following who, but stop following each other and going for the same ball.
There's a mandatory minimum 1-year prison sentence now if you flee from the police. So our sheriff was in this pursuit. I think that should show you what kind of man he is, right? He gets out here and he gets after it just like us. Do you expect anything less?
You got a gun on you? He breaked out. We got him into custody. Nobody else got hurt, so it was a good day.
You know what? Everything's okay? Yeah. We got you. We got the ambulance coming for you.
Ready?
There we were, man, I've been having a bad day. I just came from a funeral.
I get that, but you think it's okay to run from down Clayton County? Bro, you realize you were coming, bro? Did you know you were coming into Clayton County at all?
Oh shit.
If you live in Clayton County, you should know.
You should have known that.
Right.
Yeah, I know. You're right.
Obviously, his tag says run this. It's a fake tag.
Like I was saying, this is our sheriff, Sheriff Levon Allen. You see the kind of car our sheriff got. He jumps in our pursuits. He allows us to pursue. He allows us to get out here and do something about the crime going on in the county. So when it comes down to it, that's the kind of man you want to work for. It is what it is, man. I'm happy we caught this guy, but with him doing what he did, that was extremely dangerous. And there is no safe way for you to pursue a fleeing suspect, per se. But this dude did some bullshit. We're going to hold him accountable.
You're really lucky that I'm a good driver because you really could have killed yourself, right? You could have killed one of us who's not as skilled, and you could have killed one of these civilians. You should be dead. I ain't gonna lie to you. I know that sounds too brash to say, bro, but there's no way you just survive that. That's God giving you, that's your second chance right now. I don't think much more after that.
No, that one I'll just leave off. Please don't touch the left palm. Actually, that one like...
Fuck. Alright, good. That guy saved that. Good job.
Like, but if you move it, I'll feel that too. Like, that shit hurt bad, that one.
We're looking at a whole lot of traffic charges, definitely felonies, not including felony fleeing and attempting to elude, just speeding in general, multiple traffic violations.
Come on, boost. Come on. Fuck. Okay. Fuck, man. I hate the fucking off the wall shit, bro.
Here, we're gonna go to some spots Watson will literally sit and you will watch drug transactions be made right in front of us.
It makes you wonder, like,
Fuck.
do people not have more to live for?
I don't know, man. At this point, like, when you arrest enough drug dealers and they're all...
Oh my lord. Can somebody get that, please?
Everything.
Fuck.
Everybody could be a trafficker.
Your regiment look like to stay mentally and physically fit to do the job that you do?
Cardio, of course. Have to exercise and do something physical. Also for me, again, like I said, I like to do things where I'm doing stuff that's away from me being a law enforcement officer. So when I'm off, I'm off. I like listening to good music, man. I'll be 35 in August. I grew up in the 90s. I listened to a plethora of different artists, but I like to listen to...
Why is it I hit it?
Anita Baker. If you're in the car and you're listening to this music talking about kicking somebody's ass,
Fuck, man. How did I not just get that?
your blood pressure's gonna be up.
How did I not just get that?
You may very well put yourself in a mindset automatically where
Mind boost.
doing some dumb shit or something. So I like to be cool, calm, collected until it's not time to be like that.
We're going to the hood now.
Oh, thanks, bro. Fucking idiot.
In the war zone, per se.
Is this where Waka Flocka grew up, where we're going to?
Right here, yeah.
Riverdale?
Yeah, right here. We're in Riverdale.
Oh boy.
We're gonna go
Let's lock in. You lock in, you dumbass. Let's lock in.
gas station where the corner boys are always.
Why don't you lock in, bud?
We'll be out there and then we'll push up on. Oh, look at that. Dude with the bag. Chick with the bag.
Oh.
Right there. See the red hoodie? Look. Hey, red hoodie. Red hoodie was the lookout. He just ran back inside.
Fucking hell. Let's lock in, nigga. Guarantee you didn't get that fucking message out and they got caught.
Yeah, we ain't tripping, bro. When you see the police ride in and you run back in the store, said, oh shit, here they are again.
That's what I gotta do.
Why you lying about your name, man?
Hey, guess who's got a fingerprint scanner?
So you gonna now let's run it back.
Run it back. Actually, let's take this party outside. It's getting hot in here.
Don't worry, somebody will get you.
He's lying about his name.
Yeah, he knew his name, bro. Dummy.
Unfortunately. Now, if I find it, big problems. Oh, what have we here?
What do you have?
Go ahead and hop in now.
Man.
Unless y'all want to be next, y'all better get on up out of here.
The nutweed. What's he selling?
What do you got?
No, that's not.
There's more in there, bro.
Something ain't adding up.
There's more in his pants.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
I can smell it.
Something ain't adding up, man.
Hey, bro, it's just some weed, bro. That's so fucked.
I can smell it.
I can smell it. Shut your bitch ass up.
They run back inside, try to hide the dope.
The dope, bro. If it's dope, it's dope. But
My friend, wanted for violation of probation out of Clayton County.
I ain't probation, good.
Didn't I tell you I was gonna let you get a phone call? Give me your phone.
I'm putting it back in. I ain't finna use it.
No,
It's
too
about
late.
to die anyway.
Too late, man. Gonna get in. See, I was gonna look out for you. Because I wasn't even gonna hit you with the fucking false name and date of birth either. I was just gonna take you in on your one. Okay, so this is what I'm about to do. I'm about to open this motherfucker. And if I see a missed call from the last minute, I'm talking about a dial call from the last minute, you know, I'm finna tell you. You already called somebody? Go ahead and get back in. So this is the key reason why a lot of time cops just go ahead and do the easy thing. Don't give them a phone call. Don't, you know what I mean? Because when you try to be nice to them, they take advantage. And I was going to actually look out for him because he lied to us about his name and date of birth. So that can go in under 2 different misdemeanors. I can either do obstruction or I can do a false name or date of birth. Both carry about the same time, same fines. I was just going to take him in on the warrant and call it a night. But again, if you make me police, then I'm going to just stick it to you. So we'll go ahead and start drafting up the warrant.
Well, yeah, you fucked up. You fucked
Date of
up.
birth, and then, of course, he's not going to be getting a phone call anymore. So
You ain't getting a phone call anymore. I'm good.
Oh, sun's coming down. Crazies are coming out. Did you bring a vest? No vest?
Can I borrow yours?
No, I need mine.
Me and Miguel will hide behind yours.
You didn't bring one for you?
Next time.
Damn. That'd be
feel like Sheriff Allen is
Yeah, man.
the community?
The perfect answer to sum that up is this. He gives his personal cell number to the citizens out here, bro. They fucking call him all the time and they tell him, hey man, this is going on in my area, this is going on in my area. When there's crimes or anything like that, he'll have us go, hey guys, I'm getting a call from a citizen about this. Go check it out. Let me know what's going on. And we'll go deal with it. That right there should show you the kind of sheriff he is.
Look, there's that same. See that Stinger? Rambo, that white Stinger right there. It's at the gas station. He went the wrong goddamn way. See it, the black one from earlier? Looks like it's occupied. Push up on it. You've been sitting here for. You got a little weed in the car, man?
Nah, I just pulled up. I literally just pulled up. You gonna shake the camera? I got 15 miles on my phone.
Look, man, honestly, if me goes a long way, I ain't tripping about nothing little. You got a little weed in the car. It ain't a big deal.
You got some other than weed, dude. Come on.
I don't ask.
I'm at the VP up here. Can you come up here, please?
Don't call your mama up here.
You got an ashtray in the car. You smoke in the car. 1 + 1 is 2. Do you got weed in the car? Yes or no?
Okay.
No weed
All right.
in the car.
Literally has a roach on the floor. Literally has the roach on the floor. Like,
You got, damn, bro, you didn't ask consent. You didn't ask consent, bro. Damn, bro, he gonna beat that. You gonna beat that. You're gonna beat that. Don't worry. Oh, I got a gun too. Oh boy, that's not good. Now you fucked, homeboy. Now you are fucked. Well, they didn't ask for consent, so.
No, look at this. Look at this. Somebody come look at this.
Hollow points.
I don't. Yeah, he trying to play games.
Scale. Oh man, you fuck, dummy. How you gonna carry the scale with you, bro? I don't get people that do that, man.
He was here to meet somebody.
Fucking stupid. Yeah, that's that.
But it's in here somewhere because I can smell it. Door number 1. Oh, come on.
Oh Lord.
Oh, bro.
I see the butt of a AR right there.
Dummy. Oh boy, you dummy, bro. You're the one that says don't make me pop the trunk, huh? You're the one that says that. You're doing rounds.
M995.
I think this highlights proactive.
Green tips? What's green tips?
You guys are kind of just rolling up on him. He's just sitting here, but then you uncover guns that we still have to find out if they're illegal.
Wow.
But talk more about that.
Like I was saying, you know, people meet at gas stations, at pumps, sell drugs. They do their transactions here. You see somebody sitting here, they're not getting gas.
And you've seen this guy at multiple gas stations
just today. And, you know, as soon as we pull up, he tries to act like he's going to get gas. He's super irritated / nervous when he gets out of the car. He was shoving that gun up under the driver's seat when we walked up. So he
that gun, you're making weed sales, bro. Like, what's wrong with this?
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely selling. So
come on, bro.
We're gonna see if
you're selling weed, bro. What do you need a fucking AR?
All these guns. Yeah.
How long does it take to run a gun?
A fucking AR, bro.
You'll be able to know now.
In the computer, yeah. Then I'll run a criminal history on him to see if he's a felon or not. And then if he's using this vehicle to transport narcotics, I'm gonna seize it and take it.
You see you got that quarter, right?
Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah.
We think it's improvised.
It's switch.
Yeah, because you know.
Oh boy, Mr. Switchy. Fucking dummies, bro.
Dump the whole magazine.
Fucking dummies, bro. So you got a switch, probably not installed on the actual gun.
What we're having now is possibly going to be an internal, what you call an internal switch, because the inside of the mechanism is made a different way, and it looked like the back butt plate of the actual Glock handgun is going to be 3D printed. Just tried the firing mechanism on the weapon, and it's not even resetting, so that's giving us telltale signs that they converted it to a fully automatic machine gun. If that's the case, then he'll probably be looking at felony charges and charge from the alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. After having a machine pistol.
So as it stands right now, what is he facing?
We got a little marijuana shake right now, so it's not enough to charge him with marijuana so far.
Fucking
The other
dumbass.
gun is clean. If anything, he'll probably look at possession of a machine pistol. I had to ask you a real quick question. I'm trying to see, because Richardson tried to test his weapon.
Oh boy.
An internal switch. It's got a 3D printed plastic butt cap, and he tried. Yeah. Okay, so I'm clear. Today, you're going to be going to jail for possessing a machine pistol because you know that it's a switch. It's internal. You know it's a switch. It's 3D printed. It's been modified. We already checked and tested the trigger, and I already conferred with somebody who is good at this gun stuff. It's an internal switch, and you know you can't have it. That's a federal offense. Well, you want to go talk to him real quick? Hold on. Keep where you going? Go back in there. So he is going to be charged with that possession of a machine pistol and possession of a firearm during the commission of felony crimes too, because he has the Glock and he has the AR pistol. Okay?
Dumbass.
So that's what he's looking at.
What goes through your mind when you see the police rolling through like this?
Man, I think it's time to go hit something, because they busy.
So
I just think it's
dummy.
because, like, this a young black man, and he just made a bad mistake, you know what I'm saying? Because this whole situation could have been rectified a different way.
Why do a lot of guys feel like their only way to make it is to be a hustler? Like, why not? There's so many other choices.
Because you got to think, man, people in that situation usually have prior, so it's hard for them to get opportunities. Most of the time, they just resort to the streets.
We've seen this car right here go to multiple gas stations throughout the day.
He's selling weed, bro.
What I gotta say is your instinct is very on point. I think every single stop we've had, the guy has been up to something, and initially I look at it and think, there's nothing here, and then you're on it, so I'm impressed by that.
Yeah, man. You just got to know what you're looking for.
The fuck?
Whoa, what the fuck? Then what you got going on?
I have nothing going. I'm trying to park clearly.
Yeah, but you
every
get...
night.
Yeah, but we just for the hour.
What happened?
Woods. Here. Yeah. Smoking weed.
I'm clear. Next unit.
See how heavy she's breathing? See that?
Clear.
Hey, when she hops out, unlock the door.
Gotcha. I do smell a little bit of marijuana coming from the
Oh,
car. So do you
boy.
smoke in the vehicle at all?
Smoke.
Okay,
Yes,
when was the
I
last
do.
time you smoked?
I smoked today. I did smoke today.
How long ago?
Probably like 30 minutes ago.
30 minutes ago. At this moment, you're just going to be detained, okay? Put your hands right here, because right now we're conducting what's called a Tier 2 investigation, right? So you told me that there's no marijuana in the car, correct?
I do have some marijuana.
All right, how much?
I don't know.
All right, in the state of Georgia, marijuana is still very, very illegal, whether it's a roach or whether it's a large amount, okay?
Yes, sir.
Here's the thing. We don't give a fuck about no small ass amount of weed.
Okay.
So all I want is a little bit of honesty, right? Because
Yes, sir.
because guess what? It could be the young, innocent ones just like you that be the goddamn biggest dope dealers in the state of Georgia. All right? So we're going to make sure, all right? I don't know that. So this is what we're going to do.
Can I just stand out the car because I need to breathe? I've been sitting in my
I'm
car
going
for hours.
to roll my window down. Just relax. I'm going to go check your car. As long as it's a small amount, you'll be good to go.
And he's small as a fuck.
I'm just nervous because I didn't do nothing.
That's all right. You good to go.
I am.
Mm-hmm. Earphones. I don't want them to fall.
And I'm not coming back to Clayco.
Like the lieutenant said, if you're going to smoke marijuana, don't do it you shouldn't do it in your car at all because it's all illegal in the state of Georgia, but Clayton County is definitely the wrong place.
You look like a big dog.
Hey, I ain't bigger than Clayton County. You best believe. Shout out to Clayton County for protecting and serving the community. I feel safe.
Do you feel like they do make the streets much safer?
Yes.
Tell me about it.
You can be a law-abiding citizen. You can walk your kids out at nighttime. You can do whatever you want in Clayton County because they're always on patrol and they're going to make sure you're safe.
They hammer the guys that are out being the shooters, the hustlers. That's what they target.
Yes.
Do you think the community is grateful for that, or is it still like, you're police, so we don't know what to do? We don't know if we should be thankful or not?
We should be thankful for them because they control the future of our kids. So you don't have to worry about the hustlers, the gangbangers, the YNs, none of that gang. Like, my son's 9, he's happy. He was so happy when y'all just pulled up. He loved y'all.
We talk to some of these hustlers and a lot of them feel like the only way they have to make money is to sell some sort of drug.
Look at these. 12 hours a day, steel toe boots. That's a choice. You guys are lazy. And you're not hustling nobody but yourself, because Clayton gonna get you.
What is it like to hear stuff like that?
It's good because it's not a common thing. You're always the bad guy. So, some people appreciate it though.
What was the word with her?
She just had like a little misdemeanor amount of marijuana, no warrants. So we had her stomp it out and then send her on her way.
Boom onto the next?
Yeah. Oh yeah, big time. Look, red truck. Hey, red truck, red truck. Look, they're moving.
They're tweaking.
Big time.
You said they're tweaking big time.
Mano Sariba, put your hands up. Put your hands up. I ain't gonna fucking
Oh,
ask you again. Listen,
boy.
just stop. Because I'm gonna put your ass in cuffs and take you to fucking jail if you lie to me. Don't fucking lie to me.
I have my dogs in the backyard somewhere. I'm in room up front, 101.
You said you were just trying to get a room here. You got it.
trying to get in my room. I promise I'm not lying.
You said you were trying to get a room here, and now you have a room. Where's the fucking dope at? Don't fucking lie to me. Don't lie to me.
You smoking a little weed out here?
Some little weed out here. Good thing these motherfuckers ain't going to nowhere. Shit. Y'all motherfuckers got some crack out here?
They ain't no friend of yours?
Huh?
A friend of yours?
Yeah, a friend of mine.
Oh, okay. How much weed you got in the truck?
I ain't got none.
What are you reaching for?
Nothing. I ain't reaching for nothing, man. What is this about?
You already know what time it is. Hey, I'm gonna give you one chance.
Look.
You got any weapons on you?
Why you shaking, man? Shaking like a leaf.
She gonna leave. I ain't no leaf shake.
Do you have any weapons on you? Answer the fucking question. What is it? Don't reach. You have a gun? He's got a gun.
Oh, man.
Put your fucking hands
Okay, Hector's got a gun.
Get fucked up. I'm telling you right now. He's got a gun and dope.
Hey, you wearing a flag too, bro. What do you expect, bro? You think you cool as fuck, bro. You think you blood and shit.
This the second fucking
Fuck.
time, bro.
You pussy, bro. What are you wearing a flag like a goddamn one of them dogs? One of them dogs that just got cut and got a haircut and shit, bro. Fucking dumbass. But I got some meth or some shit. Fucking dummy,
Sir,
bro.
under arrest. If you didn't already figure that out. Oh my lord! Look at all that meth.
Oh, got it. Told you.
I try and show everything I can on YouTube, but some of it is just too raw for the platform. So I'm inviting you to check out my Patreon, where I put out unreleased, uncensored
Damn, bro. I
videos
can't do
for
none
you.
of these things, bro. That shit's dumb up.
This is a shame.
By joining the Patreon, not only do you get early and uncensored access to a library of
Shit's
clips,
done
but
up.
you also join the fight against corruption and things happening around the country. Remember, we go after U.S. senators, we go after cults and churches, and we go after multi-billion-dollar companies. These are entities that have the resources and power to wipe me and the channel out. And by joining me on Patreon, you help secure our future to keep fighting against corruption and fighting for the truth. For only $7 a month, you get access to some of the wildest clips on the internet. And right now, if you join using code Tommy, you get 50% off your first month. I appreciate you guys. I will always be boots on the ground covering dangerous stories and trying to uncover the truth. If you want to join, the link is in the description. Thank you again. And now let's get back to Georgia.
There's no saving this shit.
Trafficking meth. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh.
Whoa, wow. Hey, take the
It ain't your brother's now. It's yours. He said, yo, it ain't mine. It's my brother's. Snitch ass bitch. You snitch. His brother's looking at this like, you snitch ass. You ain't got mad meth, bro. You ain't gonna let that guy go.
Mano Sariba. Don't reach for shit. That's what that means. Put your hands up. Do you have any weapons on you?
The other one?
Maybe a pocket knife. Any guns, any drugs? What are you doing over here, man? Oh, he's high as fuck, too. You high as hell.
Super high.
Don't fucking bullshit me like I'm stupid. How much money you want to bet this shit is stolen? Any wagers?
Oh, it's definitely stolen.
You know this shit is. So he claimed he has a girlfriend in room 101. So we gonna go knock on it.
Uh-oh.
And see if his
This
girlfriend.
guy's just snitching on everybody. Jesus
If
Christ.
we see something in plain view, that's exigent circumstances. We will be.
Oh, boy, bro. This guy's just snitching on everybody. And with the knocking, bitch.
Deputy Woods with the Clay County Sheriff's Office. I'm here with Deputy Tyler. We have your boyfriend in custody. He said you're gonna be the one who can take the keys to his bike.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess so.
He got caught with his hand in the cookie jar.
Oh, boy. The cookies were crystal meth.
Some drugs in here as well. You mind if we come in and look?
Yeah.
He has drugs in here. I don't do drugs, but he has drugs in here.
How many drugs?
Oh man. You gotta take this, bro. What are you ran on everybody? You guys were brothers, yo.
So obviously we found more drugs. I'm gonna leave that a little crack because I don't know if they have a room. She brought a key or not. You already got your room?
He says my brothers. What a bitch. Found everybody, bro.
Going to rent a room. You rented a room. No, don't call mine now, cause
How old is this guy?
I don't know the number of it. How much meth did you just do? I haven't done any of this shit.
Oh yeah, he's
Bro.
yeah.
Really?
Bro, there's a camera in his face, bro. I'm like, I'll be looking at that camera like, yo, get that shit off of me, first of all.
Bro, this ain't my first day.
What's going through your mind right now?
Man, fuck you. Get out my face. I'm not here for no TV show or nothing. Like,
Word.
damn, this is my fucking life, bro.
You know what Clayton County Jail is about?
Yes, I've been.
It's fucking rough.
This is the second time y'all have done recorded me, and like y'all just did this shit 6 months ago.
So you're good to go. They uncuffed you, but you just want to leave carefully so that nothing happens. Do you want me to ask for you?
What the fuck? Tell me, bro. You
This guy
fucking.
wants to know if he's free to go. Is this guy free to go?
Yeah, man, you're good. Go ahead.
He's lucky.
Did they Mirandize you? I'm gonna Mirandize you. You ready to listen to me? You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to talk to
Yeah, Tommy's just going in. You don't give a fuck.
With this type of shit, you gotta be very careful too. They got needles and shit.
That's crazy. I didn't know like just like being nice to me like that.
AIDS or some other shit like that. Hepatitis. For all of you all at home watching, go ahead and give your boy a follow my Instagram at LTJoseph_2.
Oh man, they're just shouting out their social media.
This guy a few months ago?
We didn't. I don't think we stopped him. I don't.
Did I lock you up?
Oh, you had a warrant? Where did I lock you up at?
It's a holiday.
Yeah, we did lock him up. He was the guy on the moped.
What's going through your mind right now?
I don't understand why I'm in the back of the police car.
Oh wait, she got lined up too?
That's my friend that who came got my dogs. That's my friend. She's going back to Tennessee with me in the morning. But I wasn't doing.
Oh yeah, bitch too.
I wasn't doing anything wrong.
Have you ever been to jail before? And do you have family you can call in this situation?
Yeah, my husband's in jail right now.
Like husband, like wife.
Imagine growing up with this, trying to just be a kid here with all this shit going on. That's what makes me sad.
We're not taking her to jail. Appreciate it, Sarge. We're gonna cut her loose, have her stuff this little bit of weed out. It's like probably 2 grams, 3 grams. And then once we get her to stump it out, we let her go on about her way. I want you to listen, and I'll let you talk. You try to sit here and bullshit me like we're stupid. This is what we do every day for a fucking living. This is our job. It's a good idea for you to get the hell out of Clayton County, unless you want to end up in our jail. Come over here and stump this out. Grind it into the ground until it's powder.
Oh shit, I got a grinder for that. So can I just put it in the grinder? I don't like
Yeah, but we're gonna check over here and see if we got any activity going on. We always like to come through these hotels because
They going in deep. They ain't trying to creep on nobody, I tell you that much.
Pretty much everything you can think of.
Hell yeah.
Driver, mano sariba. You know what that means? Put your hands up.
Hey. How you doing? Y'all good.
Oh, he got the camera out. Oh, you gotta be a joke.
You on him?
The real cop here.
Does it look like we f***ing around? Get out.
Get out.
Get out the car.
Of the car. I'm gonna pull you up.
He said he thought we were the real cops. Yeah, we not. We the f***ing sheriff's department. You got f***ing drugs in the car.
No, you can search.
What are y'all doing sitting here? Just post it up there. What are y'all doing? Nah. Do you have a room here? And you are loitering here then.
Is it illegal to sit in the car with your girlfriend and talk to her?
I mean, for them, neither of them have a room here, so yeah.
Would you say, as far as like the entry point to a lot of investigation, it's loitering and marijuana smoke?
Yeah. In general, think about this. I'll give you a perfect example. Look at all of those cars in that parking lot. How many people did you see in any of those cars? Think about that. So if I have a room at a hotel, for the most part, may I linger around in my car for a half a second when I park? Probably. But people just sitting there parked up for an extended period of time, it's a high likelihood that they're probably out there dealing with some kind of drugs or something.
Yeah, bro, it's extra.
Waiting on my wife. Huh? Waiting on my wife. She's half braided. What you have in the towel right now?
Man, this is why I cover my towel. I cover myself up with.
Hey, man, can you step in front of me? Stop reaching around. Get out.
Oh, what?
Here my hands. Here my hands. Here my hands. Here my hands, man.
Is that a camera right behind him, too?
What the fuck? Get in.
What just happened?
You in?
What happened?
I find it where he's at.
Traffic 3616.
You know how stupid it is to grab a gun?
I didn't grab no gun. I didn't. I didn't grab no gun.
Step in front of the fucking car or you will go for it. Alright, and I tell you to stay in front of the car, you will stay in front of the car.
I am in front of the car. Don't do, man, come on, man.
So
Okay.
he's sitting there fumbling all around. He had that towel. There's a towel somewhere.
This one?
Yeah, and over his lap. He had the gun up underneath it. And I asked him to step out and sticks his hand on the gun and grabs it.
Oh yeah, that was a.
Snatched the gun out of his hand.
Oh, dummy.
That shot, if he
What
talks.
the fuck? Horny goat weed. This
Oh,
is
boy.
Sex pills. More cock pills. More cock pills. Bunch of fucking rolled.
What's going through your mind, man?
Man, it's just messed up, bro. It ain't no big deal. I'm messed up, man. I ain't no criminal.
Have you ever gone to Clayton County before?
Yeah.
What do you think about going there?
Man, I don't want to go to no jail. Clayton County, no jail, man. My birthday tomorrow.
What were you hoping to do tomorrow at your birthday?
I was going out of town.
You probably gonna go to jail, to be honest with you. Because you made that into something that did not have to be. If I'd have walked up there, you said, hey man, I'm sitting here waiting on my girl, I got a gun under this towel.
I didn't know.
You didn't know, you got...
Damn, he was about to have him a good old night. Fuck, more cock pills. Holy shit.
This has got to be a felony level of cock pills.
My man took the whole gas station, bro.
I've seen so many cock pills on one person. 472 of them? Shit, bro.
My birthday's tomorrow.
Bro, that is like an illegal amount that you got.
If you knew what I know, you'd say yeah.
Oh, boy.
You me something I don't know?
Yeah.
What's the story with the dick pills?
I'm 61. What the fuck?
Duh.
So you're fucking a lot right now.
Fuck a lot, yeah. And that's my business. You know what I'm saying? Don't be mad at me.
Yo, I can't believe these people are just so fucking, are so, willing to talk.
You're going to jail for possessing marijuana and possibly the gun is stolen.
So all my stuff going back in my bag and all that.
Oh, and the gun stolen? Oh, boy.
And all that, man. Now you got no
Damn, he wants his pills back, bitch.
I don't think you're addicted, so I don't need them.
So what you taking?
How come they can say dick and not cuss?
Have you ever been in Clayton County before?
Yeah.
What do you think about it?
You know, police is overly aggressive anyway. You know, I understand what the way things is today.
How long do you think you have to be in Clayton County Jail?
I hope it average 3 days to get out of there.
How many times would you say you've been there? Twice.
Thankfully, he came across somebody like Deputy Owenby who has a temperament of somebody who's not going to sit there and just instantly react to try to blast this guy, but he had all the justification. Had he shot this dude, he would have been fully justified.
Pulled up, he's just sitting in his vehicle. Went to make contact with him, see if he's loitering, what he's doing. He said his girlfriend was in there getting her hair done, but he was smoking a blunt while I walked up there, and he was trying to hide the marijuana. Had a towel over his lap, and he kept reaching around throughout the vehicle, so I went to ask him to step out. Asked him to step out, he lifts the towel up, grabs the handgun from under the towel. So at that point, I grabbed him and grabbed the gun from him, held him at gunpoint. And his girlfriend come running out the weave shop, running her mouth, trying to get in between us. I told her to get in front of the car. She didn't listen. So after I got him in handcuffs, I went to grab her. She snatched away. So she's going to go to jail for obstruction. And she's going to go to jail for the marijuana. But he is very lucky that he's going in the back of the patrol car and not out here on a gurney, because he absolutely could have gotten shot.
Yeah,
Folks,
grabbing the gun, bro, you're bugging.
Always exciting Clayton County. What's going through your mind right now?
Going to bed.
I'm tired. It's about 1 a.m. Good day's work in the field. seeing what you guys do, how you operate. Thank you guys for joining on this adventure. Clayton County is always a wild place. I mean, things are always going down here. It's an interesting town. Thank you for the sheriff for having us. We always have a good time when we're here. Thank you guys. See you next week. Peace.
Watch hit movies and TV shows on YouTube.
Being a witch is being a sister.
Get AMC Plus and more streaming channels to watch your favorites on YouTube.
This GT3 RS was fully submerged underwater.
Oh boy.
We managed to rebuild the torque, the engine, oh dear, and finally get this thing started for the first time. But today, we're going to finish this thing for good. The GT3 RS has been one of the most challenging cars I've ever had to rebuild.
Oh my goodness.
Sick.
Just parts at best.
But now, we're on the final stages. We've got the engine running, we've got the dashboard back in and retrimmed, and I'm that much closer to driving a GT3 RS for the first time ever. But there's still a lot to do. And as most of this was all
I bought another one.
Who knows what other problems we're going to run into.
I would never try to rebuild a car like that. I would use it as a parts car.
Right. We put the front subframe in on the second channel. The engine's in yet. We're still not 100% sure how good that engine is because we haven't had coolant to it yet. We've got all that to deal with, but our goal is just to get this car moving in a minute. Now, all of this suspension was completely, absolutely cooked off the old car. It's gone. So we've now got a full chassis leg with all the suspension on, ready to go on this side. The other side was fine, so we're going to reuse that, and hopefully that's all good. My dad's going to attach that. But now, I'm going to attach this, and we're going to think works from the front of the car backwards, hoping we're not missing anything, rebuilding this back up. We're starting off easy. As we've already built half the suspension up off the car, all we needed to do was bolt it to the car. The lower arm built to the chassis, and so did the upper arms, and then the trap rod ends built to the wheel hub, which my dad's doing here. Look at this, is quite interesting. Here's the drop link here, and here's the carbon anti-roll bar. But this has 3 holes. 1 hole, 2 hole, 3 hole, and depending, if you put it to the hole furthest forward, the ride's going to be stiffer, middle hole is medium, and back hole is limp. So we're going to go for the middle hole because I think that's where you have it standard. Another cool thing,
middle hole is always the best hole.
Comes with a full carbon fiber anti-roll bar, which again adds.
Oh, you can adjust it. It's adjustable from the factory.
Now over on the right hand side of the car, my dad's sliding in the filler pipe for the petrol tank. The petrol tank on the Porsche is at the front of the car. And my dad's now attaching the hose to the petrol tank so he can actually fill it up with some fuel. And once he's done that, that's pretty much both sides front suspension connected. Now we're going to put the brake discs on and the brake calipers. This side was absolutely mashed. We managed to buy a new caliper, but it was black, so we've had them stripped and all painted and stripped down, so we've got to build this back up. We had to try and match the colour of the original Porsche yellow one. It was hard, so instead of trying to match one, they painted the front one and the rear one on one side, just in case the colour was slightly off. So we've got to build up both of them now, and then they can go on the front. But the yellow against the blue looks sick. I'll put the discs on, my dad will build this up. Let's go. There they are, 2 carbon brake discs. These things are expensive, very expensive. £4,700 it cost me for 1 disc. Now you're supposed to really replace them in pairs. This car's only done a couple 100 miles. The other disc is basically brand new. My dad's now building up the calipers and putting the brake pads in them, so then I can slide them onto the wheel hub and over those carbon discs. Making sure
$4,000 each fucking caliper.
My dad's going to do the same on the left hand side. The disc bolts to the hub with 1 bolt, and then the caliper bolts to the wheel hub with 2 bolts. And with a matter of minutes, this thing's starting to come together. Here we are with the brand new second-hand subframe. Now we've managed to salvage all the right-hand side and all the left-hand side of a second-hand car, apart from the drive shaft. But other than that, we're all built up here. We didn't want to bore you guys building all this up. So hopefully now we can attach all of this and bolt it together on there. I'm going to try and...
The fuck?
I have no idea why it's making those kind of noises. That's making like a sheep. There we go, we're off now. This is the only car I can think of that can carry the full rear suspension unit and walk it across the unit. It's that light. We thought Leon might be able to get it into the car.
You ready? Go on, Liam. Go on, Liam.
Go on, Liam. Go on. Hear that? Hold on. Good. Set. Go on then. No spot.
Go on, Liam.
No spot. Go on! Or maybe not. So now we're going to lower the car down to the rear subframe, and me and Hannah are going to guide the shock and the spring into the chassis, whilst my dad's inside and he can put the nuts on it.
Nuts on it?
Oh my house! And the bolts on this side, please!
Put the nuts on it.
One side's done, it's got to do the same on the other. You see they have an electrical connector on as well for the adaptive suspension. Then before I tighten up the subframe, I'm just making sure the drive shaft aligns with the gearbox, which we're not sure works yet. And then I'm going to leg press the subframe up to the car so my dad can put in the bolts to hold it to the chassis. Job done there.
Wait,
now,
in the shop there.
After that, we've got all the electrical connections. And there's a fair
It's electric.
because this car has rear wheel steering, which is electronically controlled. And the right side of the suspension went completely so again, it's still an unknown of whether this thing's actually going to work. But our only hopes is that a lot of the parts on the outside are weatherproof. And all
It's
the
electric.
electrical stuff
Boogie,
is
boogie,
sealed.
boogie.
We can only hope they're sealed good enough to go completely underwater. Okay, time for the next thing, which is the brake disc. Here's the rear one. These are okay. Yeah.
It's electric. Boogie, 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 boogie.
Inside the brake disc, which is crazy, but that's because of heat, isn't it? So when you go flying around the track, you then have a handbrake caliper clamping onto that disc, causing it to crack or break. So they put the handbrake inside here, but you can't do handbrake turns then, can you?
The handbrake what?
It's BMW, but it makes sense, doesn't it? And both BMW and Porsche are German.
And they're both good cars, aren't they?
We'll let you guys decide that one. For now, we're bolting up the rear brake calipers. And the eagle-eyed viewers notice something that's already wrong with this caliper.
Have you spotted?
Bleed nipple. Obviously air rises up.
Yeah, the bleed nipple should always be at the top of the caliper. That way when you crack open the nipple, the air will rise out and out of the braking system, not down. With the calipers on, me and Liam decided to put on the rear crash bar, bolted easily to the back of the car. And after that, I'm going to make my way into the wheel arch to start installing this air intake.
Sure.
It takes air from the side of the rear quarters, guides it over the wheel arch,
Over.
to the back of the car. Here we go.
Here we go
When
again.
we first bought this roof, and it did have a hole in the back of it. What's the hole in there for?
Why is the hole in there?
Like
Tell me.
GT3RSs with holes for aerials in the back, like this one. Well,
Porsches are for hoes, not holes.
there is. You can see one in this video.
It's electric. Boogie, boogie,
Because of
boogie,
roof
boogie.
special order, you can't return it. So Porsche have come to a little deal with us where we actually ended up getting this cost price because we can't return it even though our roof doesn't have an aerial. So option one was to put an aerial in the roof, which would be a pointless aerial. Option two was to get carbon component solutions
Fuck.
to a little bit of carbon.
Oh, no.
And you see, they've actually filled the hole. You can just see
Okay,
it.
here
You
we
can
go.
see the little square cutout, but
Bit.
you only know because I've told you, and everybody else knows who watches this video. But it's really hard to tell. Also, there's some
What
arrows
else?
go on the roof as well. So now it's quite a big moment because we've done all those A pillars, and the roof across there without knowing whether the roof fits or not. So we're going to sort this roof into place and we're going to fit it properly. Again, another big moment. Remember, Porsche are allowed to sell us structural parts and panels like the roof, but they aren't allowed to give us repair
Where the hell is my
procedures
shit
how they do
though?
it. We've got to figure it out ourselves. It is a lovely fit. The good thing is that we took the old roof off, and by doing that, we can work out how it's fitted. That hole there, look. Lines up like that.
How do I put this shit on the
If you look
screen?
at the windscreen residue here, the sealer, they use the same sealer that they use on the windscreen
Open the message window.
to seal the roof panel on. So we're going to use windscreen sealant to do that. It seems
Where's my
crazy,
camera?
but it's actually what holds down the roof, and your windscreen don't fly out at 200 mile an hour, so I doubt the roof will. First, I've got to apply this primer. This is going to help the windscreen adhesive stick. Then, it's time for the windscreen
Add
adhesive.
camera?
I've got to layer this on nice and thick.
Oh, what the
Because
fuck?
I remember when we cut the old roof off, it was super thick and hard to get off. Now, the moment
Hello,
Now it's
Lily.
time to go for
Lily.
the carbon roof, and we've only really got one shot of this. We line it in place.
Feels accurate. Please
Once
check
we're
if
happy
your
with
camera
it,
is available
there's
or your
4
camera.
nuts
Oh
that we need to
shit.
screw onto
I'm
the front
dumb.
to hold it down.